It's the 6 o'clock check-in. Come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello.
Hello!
It's not static AM radio.
It's the Cool Bed Red Hot Nielsen Show. Let's go. Everybody's tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromella intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack at 6 o'clock and log in with some sirloin bites. Daddy likes.
Good morning, AM Nasties. Shout out to Atif.
Good morning,
Shout
AM
out
Nasties.
to Atif. What a beauty. What a beauty. He's at the game last night. Texted us a picture. He was with Gager and Big George and Sean Brown. He's
Starting to think all these
very
pictures
excited.
Wheels sends us. It's the Stoffs and the Gagers lining up to get pictures with Wheels.
Yeah, it
I
has
think
to be,
that's
yeah.
how it is. He sets up a little booth there, and the queue is just out the door.
Hey, your Wheels from the AM Nasty. That's right.
You
That's
got it.
right, Gager. That's so good. I'm sure Wheels will chime in at some point this morning.
Can't
Edmonton Oilers falling. 1 point milked. Well, I got to milk the one. We're just milking the 1 point.
You're milking one.
Got a point out of it.
East team.
After the second period, you're probably like, they don't even deserve a point tonight.
You take the points.
So
Yeah.
you take the point, and then you talk about, wow, great third period, but then you also talk about not a good game for CC. What the hell was Kane doing in overtime? There's a lot of things to discuss coming out of last night's hockey game.
One of my keys to an Oilers win was playing the full 60.
It was, Eric.
And they
It
can't
was.
play the damn full 60.
If anybody can explain what is going on in second periods for the Edmonton Oilers, we'd love to hear from you.
Third's
Hell,
fine. I think
I'm sure Knobloch would love to hear from you.
You keep the thirds, right? The thirds you don't need to. Thirds have been outstanding.
Third's fine.
But you don't want to leave it until the.
but you can't just
wrap it all up in the second.
Like,
Take the third off. Keep winning in the second.
You cannot get to the playoffs and have to be like, oh, don't worry. We're a great third period team. Like, you can't. I don't think you can approach it like that. You just can't.
I know it's only February 22nd, but again, it's the strive to perfection. I'm going to say it. I know it's a point, and I know they went on a win streak, and I know you're beating teams, but again, it's the same things rearing their ugly heads.
Penalty kill. What's going on there? I cannot believe they didn't score on the power play in overtime. I thought for sure it was just, I'm sitting there waiting to cash that EST parlay. We needed a Bouchard point and an Oilers money line win. We had the McDavid over 1.5 points. It's money. I mean, it's free money every time. We had Hyman's point last night. I was just like, you know what's going to happen here? Bouchard's going to score the overtime winner, and the EST Nasties are going to absolutely love this thing. Unfortunately, it didn't go down that way. Stuart Skinner. Not a great game. The Marchand goal. I know Brad Marchand, Jack and Louie were talking about it. You're going to score that many goals in your career. But that's got to be stopped. I don't care who's shooting. I don't care if it's bloody Alexander Ovechkin. It went right by you, right here, short side. I mean, that simply has to be stopped. Penalty kill. Evander Kane not going after that puck, leading to the icing in overtime. I don't understand. I mean, he had 5 steps on the closest Bruin. I know he was tired because he half-assed the back check coming back prior to that. But, I mean, you got to finish off that. You got to finish off that play. I mean, you're going to negate the icing for sure. So there's they got a point out of it. They didn't play great last night. They got a point out of it against the Boston Bruins team. Now, Boston was basically down to 5 defensemen, and they were already missing defensemen going into that game. So that was a banged-up Bruins back end. And if the Bruins back end was healthy, can the Oilers make the push that they did in the third period? Maybe, because they've been a great third period team. But your thoughts on all of it, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. That'll get you into the Paris Jewelers inbox. Canadian and family owned with 22 locations across the country. Go see our friends over at PJ's, and they will look after you. They got any type of gift that you need for every budget, plus the flexible financing options. Do not pay until 2025. What is this, a Connor Brown contract? I should have saved that for hot takes. I should have saved that. Thanks, man. Thanks. Woo! Big win. Big win.
Not yet.
Scalding hot takes for Claiborne Services coming up around 8:40. Your Honor, Joaquin Gage will be in the building. 780-218-9999. I haven't even looked over there yet. I'm sure it's a hot tamale over there today, and we'll get into that as we work our way through the show. We're just here to break it down with you. That's what the Nielsen Show. That's why we're here. First on the air every morning in Edmonton, static free on TuneIn and EdmontonSportsTalk.com, and we're here to break it down for you.
Wheels has chimed in. Nasty chat. Good morning, AM Nasties. How come the Oilers can't start on time? He follows it up with start Pickard tomorrow. So
that's automatic.
There's your. We're.
You know what, Atif? I'm gonna grant your request.
Okay. Well,
Pickard starts tomorrow.
There you go.
Pickard starts tomorrow. So what was the major issue for you last night? Came away with a point, but I'm asking you this morning, Nasty Chat, first of all, polite request. If you have not yet subbed, fire us a sub. Working up towards that 7,100. Let's go. Give us a sub. We hit 7,000 in the 6 o'clock hour yesterday. We got some good news coming your way tomorrow. You'll find out about that. Something exciting coming down the pipe here at Edmonton Sports Talk. But give us the old thumbs up as well over on YouTube. We would appreciate that as we work our way through the show this morning. And pound that box at 780-218-9999. Create the mix for text of the day, where A&W is introducing the new spicy piri piri buddies. Only $3.99 each. Each burger features the new spicy piri piri sauce, plus layers of crisp whole leaf lettuce, sliced tomato, red onion, all served with your choice of a chicken patty, beef patty, or hash brown patty. So many patties. Tell your buddies. The new spicy piri piri buddy is here, and they're just $3.99. Zip through a drive-through, and remember, it's a limited time only. So you got to move quick. Let's talk about how we consumed that game last night. YouTube, Trev, you were there. You were at the game last night.
Yes, I was.
I'm surprised you made it in on time today.
Yeah, I know. I knew that was coming from one of you guys. Yeah, it was a good time. Had a lot of fun. It was sweet. That would have been a fun game to be at for an Oilers fan. My buddies, they're both Bruins fans, and they're asking me like, what are your thoughts? I was surprised that the Oilers made a comeback. I didn't see it coming. I was like, unless a miracle happens, but. Yeah, they got lucky. They got the puck on net, and good things happen when you put the puck on net. So I went to OT, and like you said, I was expecting the OT dub for the Oilers for sure. That didn't end up happening. I got a front row seat to Kane flopping like on the ice like a fish. That was tough to see, and then I don't know
what he was trying to do there.
Oh gosh, like both him and Skinner just got burnt there, and the whole row, like just Bruins fans, like, so that was kind of funny.
Original 16 rolls in.
Oh yeah,
that's what happens,
it was
right?
pretty sweet, but yeah, a lot of fun. Felt good, and I'm feeling it right now.
You say I'm feeling it right now?
Ride the wave.
I'm feeling it right now. Hang in there, YouTube Trev. We only have 2 hours and 50 minutes left of the show.
He did get picked out of the crowd, though, once or twice.
Did you?
Our YouTube Trev.
Yeah.
Like on the big screen?
Well, no.
Yeah, I was getting a brewski, and I just hear like, is that YouTube Trev? And I'm like, oh gosh. I'm like, what's going on here? And then my buddies, like, they were in one for sure, and they're like, oh, no way.
They thought that was awesome.
Yeah, they thought it was pretty cool. And so I have to apologize to the lady. Very, very nice lady. She during the first intermission, I come up and she's like, are you YouTube Trev? And I'm like, yeah. She was like, can I get a photo? And then the boys were hyping it up way too much than it was. So I apologize. I didn't even get your name. I would have loved to chat to you, but yeah, the boys were just embarrassing me. So, but it was cool. It was fun. It was fun.
YouTube Trev, local celebrity.
Yeah, I love it.
The odds
he said he could feel the eyes, kind of.
Yeah,
you do, yeah.
All right, and then so you watched a good chunk of the game at home, but you did pop by Hudson's last night, West Edmonton Mall.
We were at Hudson's for the pregame. Myself, I actually walked past PJ's, Paris Jewelers, on the way to Hudson's, as you do, through the mall. I took a wave to the Italian Center as well on my way, but good crowd there last night as well. The ales and the pints of lager were going down.
And what's this we hear? 6 o'clocker lager in can form
at
at Hudson's.
Tommy had a few on display. He had a nice display with his broadcasting.
Nobody
booth and
sets
everything.
up a
My
display
goodness.
like handsome Tom Gazzola.
He was doing the pregame and seating tables. It was amazing.
This is hilarious. Tell this story. This is fun.
Well, you know our Tom, and he dresses. He's a man about town. Dresses up really nice. Looks the part. Plays the part. And I'm never going to critique him on that. However, sometimes, you know, if you're in a situation, you're at a place where you're dressed in a certain way, you might get mistaken for a different role. And much as he was set up at the front of Hudson's, when you walk into Hudson's, you see a nice, sharp-dressed guy.
Suit jacket, nice
sir,
jacket.
do you have a table for 3? I'm looking for a... So it was kind of a... He like Chris Jones wearing a couple of hats last night, I guess, at the Hudson's Bourbon Street.
But like, Tommy's probably too nice to not seat people.
No, but-
Tommy's like, yeah, you know what? I'll take you to your table.
And no tip. He says, no, I don't need the tip.
The serving staff is looking like, who the hell is this guy? And why does he keep seating people in my section? I'm already busy.
Rookie, we need those two cleaned in the back.
That's too good. That's too good.
It was good. Vibes were high though, and again didn't stay for the game, but just prior to puck drop there, and nice to see Trevor Savage, Renee, Dez, did him a few. Fergie's prostate came out.
Prostate rolled in.
Had a beer and a few other fine folks. So a great night.
And we're gonna be at Hudson's West Edmonton Mall again on Friday for like a full-blown EST watch party.
A full-blown.
Should be.
Wanted to get
funny.
in one last night, but he knew he couldn't.
Wannick did?
Well, he was. He takes a couple sips and he's.
Ever since Wannick went to
pupils.
Vegas, he's just he's become an animal now.
Matty Vegas might come out tomorrow night at the EST watch.
Somebody get this guy a White Claw right now. Somebody get this guy a White Claw. So that'll be fun. Tommy Gazzola's got that fat stack of gift certificates down at Hudson's. So make sure you make some plans on Friday night to join us. Hudson's West Edmonton Mall. I mean, where else do you really want to watch the Oilers in Wild, right? You might as well do it with us.
I feel like you're on vacation in a way with the mall
well,
there.
yeah,
The hotel.
Bourbon
Like,
Street. It's a real fun time. Yeah, we are looking forward to that one on a Friday. So make plans to join us on Friday. We have a $50 gift certificate to Hudson's that we are going to give away today on the show. So make sure you are listening for that opportunity. I did spend so we had busy nights. Right before the game, it was birthday cake time in the Nielsen household for the Muzz. She had a Star Wars cake that Tam had made.
Went over well?
Yeah, she absolutely loved
5
it.
stars, yeah.
She didn't even use a fork. She's like, can I bite this cake right now? And we're like, well, I mean, you're 7 now. You're like when you're 2 or like your first birthday cake, they make you like your smash cake and you're going to be like, look at me, I'm a baby. But the Muzz is still like, she's 7. She goes, I want to take a bite out of this right now. And we're like, it's your birthday. Let's do it.
You go hard.
And so she did. But then she ate her entire slice with no fork. Nothing. Just like she's in prison. And they're like, you can't use your hands because you have to keep them for fighting. So she had a great night. Then, you know what I did last night? I dabbled in Discord a little bit.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Are you on this, Trev? You get the Discord?
Well, yeah, that's funny. I'm just seeing Jen Cole, if I'm pronouncing
that's
that.
The one,
yeah. She said she just mentioned it in the Nasty chat. Come join us in the Discord. I was just going to ask.
Yeah, so I did it. Cool. I did it last night. I changed my name to the Concrete Cobbler. I gotta be a part of the family.
Yeah. So that's you need a handle to get into this Discord.
Yeah. I don't know. I clicked on it. I must have already had
it.
I think I had an account from one of my nerd alert here. I had an account on Discord from one of my simulation hockey leagues, and so I clicked on it. And it was awesome. Like there was just a bunch of AM nasties in there on Discord last night,
just sitting around.
It's just like ongoing chat. It was. I don't know if I'm going to be in there all the time. I definitely didn't turn notifications on because when I was in there, it was just like, and it's awesome. I will say this: I don't even know where the app is on my phone. I don't know. I couldn't find it. I had to keep like going back through my open app to find it. But
that's fun.
So you go in there and on the Edmonton Sports Talk sort of channel, there's like a chat room for like all the different shows for Cool Bet, and there's a bunch of we already labeled it last night the DGen Den, so that's a fun one. And then like Oilers chat, F1 chat, Game Day chat, Elks chat, and then like Nielsen Show chat, the Hangout, Lock Shop, Oilers. It's a fun little.
So a chat room with different rooms to go into, like other doors, and you just kind of wander around. And
I'm starting to think this Discord might work for just in general, not even for us.
Can I play checkers with somebody halfway around the world on there? Does it offer that?
What do you
service?
think this is? Yahoo in the late 90s? Come on, man. That's crazy. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. And boy, we have a First text I look at today, I don't even know who it came in from. No name on this account, but it says smoking or non-smoking. And like Tom Gazzola at the door.
I wouldn't blink. He's got the little towel over his arm, right? Like,
yeah.
Wouldn't even faze me.
Oh, that's good. Oh, how about this one? Norman at Combine. I wonder if he pulled over to send this in. Win, lose, there's always smoked meat. He's got ribs from Acme.
Oh, baby.
Look at those things. Those look way better than the ribs my wife butchered in the slow cooker a couple days ago.
Okay.
It was awful. God love her. But even she was like, oh, this is gross. Like she left some of like the chewy stuff on, like the
membrane.
She couldn't get it off.
You got to peel the membrane.
And I was just like, I just put it in.
See, the best thing about Corey and Acme Meats is he peels the membrane for you. I purchased these very same rack of ribs.
He does the membrane for you.
I made this rack on Saturday of the long weekend family day, and it was delicious. The man has some good ribs. Corey, Acme Meats. I got beef coming up later today. Perfect text in from Norman.
Yeah, we do have I got beef coming up.
Great ribs later on today. Great ribs.
We got to learn to do ribs properly in our house. Like
I'll send you a recipe.
There was one time she did in the slow cooker. They were delicious. This time it was just like all the meat had fallen off in the slow cooker, and then when we're eating it, like all three of us, me and the Muzz and Marshall, were all like, "These are really good." Tam's like, "Don't lie to me. I know they're garbage."
Christmas vacation.
It's like, yeah. Spitting out the bullet. All right, 780-218-9999. RBM is in. It says the Oilers were awful in their own end all night long. Not discrediting the Bruins, as they were pretty good, but some of those chances against were tough to watch. Wild game, though, for sure. I mean, in the end, they get a point. It was a highly entertaining game. I'm not sure it was the game of the year in the National Hockey League, but it was a highly entertaining hockey game last night.
Yeah, so. I mean, whenever you're dropping the puck at 10:30 East time, I don't know, any of those games will be memorable in terms of like going down as everybody, all the eyes were on it and everything. But this, original six, Beast of the East, you go in, you get a point. As Trev pointed out, you come back from a 3-goal. I mean, there are good things to take away from last night's game, and I think there are bad things and things the team can work on. So you take the point, you move on.
The paddle boat is in this morning. It says Oilers defense wasn't great in the second, but I think the goaltending was the issue last night.
Uh-oh.
Skinner has not been good the last couple. Hopefully with some improved defense, the goaltending will return. Skinner since the All-Star break has not been good. It's just
he's been good,
simple.
Not great. No? Or not even good?
I would technically say he's been good and a little bit below good. I don't think great has come into the conversation at all with Skinner since the All-Star break. But, I think that also ties into the team in front of him as well. Mark is in and says, boys, you notice in the last few weeks, maybe even more than a month, McDavid isn't shooting when he's in prime shooting locations. Could he be hurt?
LTIR.
I don't think he's hurt. I think he's just in pass mode right now.
LTIR.
Like last night on the post game, and I put up my 3 quick thoughts on Twitter, and instantly there was 100 replies from people, and the majority of them were, "What the hell was Kane doing in overtime? What's going on with Skinner right now? And why won't Connor McDavid shoot the puck?" And I still think, how many shots he ended with last night? We'll get into it on the morning after show coming up here. But they're
4.
Yeah, but they're not wrong. Like Connor McDavid puts himself in spots to have 6, 7, 8 shots a game, and it just hasn't been there. Now he hasn't scored in 7 now. Still picking up the assists. I mean, tacked on a couple more last night. So
they did have a goal share graphic of players who've scored over the past 7 games. And you're looking, I'm like, no McDavid. Like
yeah.
It's weird not to see his name on a list of goal scorers from the past handful of games.
Shout out to Matthias Janmark for actually using his stick to put a puck in the net. That was huge. Also, Ryan McLeod passing to Connor Brown on a 2-on-1. Probably not the wisest decision. I know, everybody wants to get the guy going.
Yeah.
But you can't put that guy in those spots. The dude has 0 finish. None. At all. Whatsoever. Shoot the puck.
But to be the guy that gets him over the...
No, nobody wants. I'm that guy.
I got him going. I ripped the cord.
It's impossible. It's an impossible task. Let's lay out the show for you quickly. Then we'll get into your EM utility locating morning after show. That's going to happen right away here at 6:20 for EM utility locating. We got a sports update for Green Plan with Lieutenant Eric. We'll hear from Corey Perry. We'll hear Corey Perry's post game coming up on the other side of the sports update. 6:45 today. I says pardon. We'll get into that for Lawyer Central. That's coming up. Mike Johnson is in today. MJ's in Vegas right now. I told him, I said, dude, you don't have to join us. It's going to be like 6:05 in Vegas. But he's not a wild child, I don't think. My buddy, Eddie the Gambler, he texted me last night. He's on the TSN crew with MJ in Vegas. They were watching the game together last night at the Cosmopolitan Sportsbook. And I was like, oh. But I told him, I said, tell MJ to go to bed. He's got to be up with us at 6 o'clock today. So Gazdick is switching to tomorrow. Mike Johnson's going to join us today. We'll dive into the others, obviously. We got to get Austin Matthews has 51 goals in 54 games. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
so,
but if not even 5,000 people are there to see it, does it actually happen?
Doesn't even count. Those two only count as one goal. We'll get into that with Mike Johnson just after 7 o'clock for Pro-Am. Cool Bad Hotline of the day. We were on the Connor McDavid goal yesterday. It was plus money. It didn't happen. Just always take Connor McDavid over 1.5 points. That's it. Just do that now. I got beef coming up around 7:30 this morning. What do you have beef with? You can always text your beefs to 780-218-9999. Kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's. 3 questions too many for Park Mazda today. Lots of time for your thoughts on the Oilers and where they're at right now in this sort of up and down cycle that we are watching. Scalding hot takes for Claiborne Services. They are hiring now. You can visit them at claiborneservices.com. Lieutenant Eric looks to defend the myths. That was an asterisk. Is that what Gager said last week?
Yeah, it's an asterisk. I couldn't find that damn potholder, so it's not like it's what do we call it? A tournament of 2, like whenever one of us in here, but
in-season turning.
It's up for grabs again.
And then the wrap.
Come get it, boys.
The wrap for William Huff coming up here around 8:50. Great hangout today as well.
Oh.
Matthew Iwanek with Ron Lowe, Joaquin Gage, and the commish, Quinn Phillips. Come on. How's that for a hangout? 9 to 11 today.
Low Gager, the whole coaching player dynamic with Quinn thrown in the middle. And
it's going to be a banger.
Iwanek moderating. Oh, wait.
That's going to be a really good hangout today. That'll be happening from 9 to 11 right here and only here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Let's get in to your morning after shows. The Oilers drop one in overtime to the Boston Bruins.
Being a fan of the Oilers today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to have your say? It's the morning after show where we will talk about the game and let you know who you should blame. You want a show where you will know if the problems are still the same. You want a show every morning after the game. You want a show so people know if the problems are still the same. You want a show every morning after the game.
All right, let's get into it. The Edmonton Oilers losing in overtime 6-5 to the Boston Bruins. Morgan Geekie opened the scoring last night. A long shot that got through. Warren Fogle getting elevated because the Nuge was sick last night. Fogle with his 12th of the season, going hard to the net. And then your typical second period for the Edmonton Oilers right now. Like, they are absolute trash in the second period. I don't get it. Marchand's 26th. Frederick with his 16th. Jake DeBrusk, he's the son of Lou, 13 on the season.
Oh, he scored
for DeBrusk. Yes,
I never knew.
He got one last night. He got one last
night.
night. And then Fogle in the second period to try to give them a little. They had that huge shift at the end of the second, and they just couldn't bury. They were just buzzing, controlling it. But in the end, the second period ended up being an absolute stinker for the Edmonton Oilers. But then the Oilers released the big guns in the third. Zach Hyman would eventually score his 34th to tie back up after Pasternak had taken the lead. Matthias Janmark's third. Corey Perry with a Corey Perry-type goal. Go to the net with the deflection. Grabs his own rebound. Puts it in. Had a fight in the game as well. It was 3-1, I think, at that point. So it was... It was an interesting night. Let's just say it was an interesting night. The morning after show is brought to you by EM Utility Locating. Call 780-222-9497. Or you can visit them at www.emutilitylocating.com. GPR and concrete scanning, damage prevention, planning, design, education, and training. Any jobs that you have to do where you can't see what's going on below you, EM Utility Locating is there to help you plan it. They're there to train you how to do it. They're there to educate you on the job. emutilitylocating.com. EST, big moment that happened in the game last night. Rick, what are you going?
Do you want the good one or the bad one?
I want both.
You want, okay,
Give me both.
I will say, and going off Coach Knobloch's post-game comments, I will go over, and you mentioned Corey Perry, a goal, a fight, an assist short of the Gordie Howe hat trick. And I know we're talking second periods, and that's it's clear as day right now what the Oilers kind of bring or lack thereof in the second period. But I thought maybe the Corey Perry fight would be a time to turn. Knobloch did mention kind of midway through that second, he saw the tide turning a bit. Obviously, Fogle scoring before the end of the frame to make it 4-2, and I know DeBrusk scoring after the Perry fight. But I think the Perry fight kind of changing things, maybe turning the tide in that second, maybe waking the guys up a bit. I know Knobloch mentioned in the postgame, and then going on to the third and with the comeback. But also not being able to connect with the man advantage in overtime. I think you get the point, but you could have had the two. It was laying out for you there to grab. And, I mean, again, we talk about penalty kill, but if you can't connect with this power play in overtime, which is almost as close to automatic as you can get right around the league. Oilers go to man advantage in an extra frame. You're 4-on-3. You're thinking that's in the back of the net. You're cashing it any day. But so not being able to do that, I mean, again, you come away with a point. I think there's good and there's bad to take away from last night. And look, Boston, again, beast of the East team, big bad Bruins, all that stuff. I think you come away with a point pretty good. But again, I think Perry, in a good way with the fight, maybe initiated a little bit of that third period comeback, albeit midway through the second, but then not being able to connect and get that extra point with the man advantage was another
A couple other moments in this game. I thought one of the things that would have ended up being one of the big moments was Skinner's stop on the breakaway at JVR out of the box in overtime. I was like, oh, man, what a way. Now, whenever you're in the box, you're always like, oh, give me a breakaway as I come out. And he got one. And then he tried to sneak it 5-hole, and Skinner's stick wasn't there, but he got his pad on it.
Maybe that's how Brown gets off it, hey? You send him to the box purposely, and then you wait for him to escape, and that's how you get him the goal.
If you saw Brown coming out of the penalty box right now, I just fire it down the ice. There's a better chance that it bounces off a stanchion and somehow ends up in the back of the net.
That's where we are, hey?
I mean, not to be a dick, but
yeah.
Come on, there's probably a better chance that happens. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the save that Swayman made in overtime on Draisaitl and the one-timer. Like that was the moment. That was the one where you're like, that's when Donnie didn't roll a strike in Big Lebowski and died due to a heart attack when the nihilist attacked in the parking lot. Like you're like, what? How'd that not go in? Because Draisaitl got all of it. He just didn't get it up. Swayman made a huge save. And then eventually the Bruins would win it in overtime. So I'm looking at that save that Swayman made on Draisaitl in overtime on the power play as the EST big moment that happened. You can obviously play along 780-218-9999 or hit us up in the nasty chat this morning as well as that bad boy continues to grow. Give us a sub if you haven't already. Super stat of the night. What are you going with? A lot of stats in this game.
There's a lot of numbers to look at here. And again, you can look at it from either a positive or a negative. I think, again, going 0 for 3 with the man advantage in Boston, clicking away at 1 for 2 with the power play. I'm going to look at special teams as being a not so super stat, I guess, for the Oilers, and one that you could have worked on and capitalized on, especially, as I mentioned, in overtime. But again, allowing a shorthanded goal.
I'm going Fogle. +3, 2 goals, 5 shots on goal, played almost 19 minutes last night, asked to step up in a spot. It's a juicy spot, obviously. You're going to be alongside Connor McDavid. But, I thought he made the most of it. I'm not sitting here going, well, what do you do with Nuge when he's healthy? Like, Fogle goes back to where Fogle belongs. But all he did was go to the net last night, and it paid off for him
and pump up that trade value.
I'm going to Fogle, who now has 13 on the season.
Pump it up.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
He's the type of guy contenders need.
That's the core, right?
Let's see. Let's get into your 4th star of the game, the 3 stars last night. Fogle, Perry, and Jake DeBrusk. Who's your 4th star?
Yeah, and that's a nice 3. Any night, again, when you're looking at lots of numbers, lots of stats, lots of scoring, and lots of things happening, I'm going to go to Zach Hyman, getting the goal to secure that point, ultimately enforce the overtime. A goal and an assist, +3, 5 shots on net as well. So another tidy night. I mean, you can give Hyman the 4th star almost every single night if he doesn't make the top 3.
Yeah.
But I'll go with him again last night with the goal and the helper.
38th star of the hockey game last night. Few different places to go in a sloppy one like this, but I'm going to go to Evander Kane.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what was good. Like the McLeod plays it up the boards. Obviously, horrible attempted pass by McLeod. He's trying to lay it out there for him, but Kane and Nurse both were already ahead of the Bruins on the play, and they didn't skate it down. And I know they were tired. I mean, I went back and watched that entire overtime again last night after the game. And when they were coming back the other way, Kane was dragging his ass coming back. And then puck was in the zone for a bit. Then it comes out. I understand that he was tired, but when you had that much of a jump on everybody, you got to go down and negate that icing. I mean, that was a tough look. And then I don't know, trying to 2-pad stack or something on the game winner. That's not a good night. Not a good night for Evander Kane. He will be your 38th star of the game. Your steady Eddie of the evening for EM Utility Locating. I think I want to circle back around to Fogle again. I just want to go back and give Fogle a little bit more love. I know he was one of the stars last night, but having to play almost 19 minutes and actually contributing in an extremely positive way last night, I'm going to go with Warren Fogle as your steady Eddie of the evening last night. All right, let's go sports update for Green Plan. We'll come back. We'll get into Corey Perry. We got his post game here. We'll talk a little bit about his impact that he's made since joining the Edmonton Oilers. You have to be pretty happy with Corey Perry right now, don't you? 780-218-9999.
For what you gave up.
Yeah, I mean, getting a guy for free who obviously brings elements to your team that prior to him being here did not exist. I think you have to be pretty happy with that. It's your EM Utility Locating morning after show. Let's get to a sports update for Green Plan. We'll hear what Corey Perry had to say about the game on the other side here. Don't go anywhere.
Oilers coming away with a point in a 6-5 overtime loss to the Bruins down at Rogers Place. Oilers would come back from a 3-goal deficit to force the extra frame. See Charlie McAvoy notch the winner. Warren Fogle had a pair of goals for Edmonton. Corey Perry, Matthias Janmark, and Zach Hyman each had third-period markers as well. Stuart Skinner stopping 30 of 36 in his 100th career start. Oilers will play Game 2 of a 5-game homestand tomorrow against the Wild. Elsewhere last night, Austin Matthews with his 50th and 51st of the season. Leafs win in Arizona 6-3 over the Coyotes. Habs fall to the Sabres 3-2. Flyers over Chicago 3-1 in Columbus with a 7-4 win over Anaheim. The Edmonton Oil Kings with a 5-4 win over the Hitmen yesterday afternoon down at Rogers Place. The club hit the road and visit Lethbridge tomorrow night. Camrose defeating Bonnyville 2-1 in overtime in the AJ. No games tonight, 3 games on the schedule for tomorrow. PWHL action saw Boston top Ottawa 3-1 while New York beat Montreal 4-3 in a shootout. Action resumes tomorrow with Toronto at home to New York. Selena Sturmay's Team Alberta, suffering its first loss at the Scotties last night, make the final 8-7 against Newfoundland and Labrador. Alberta will wrap up its round-robin schedule this afternoon against 4-3 British Columbia. Coverage starts at 1:30. And the Raptors host the Nets in one of 12 games around the NBA tonight as regular season resumes post-All-Star break. Sports update for Green Plan. With construction season coming up around the corner, planning season is already in full swing. For all of your environmental planning needs, contact Green Plan Environmental Consultants. Green Plan can assist with any of your environmental concerns, no matter how big or small the project. Green Plan is here to help. You can check them out today, green-plan.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Zach Hyman of the Edmonton Oilers.
She's so tenacious.
Hope you guys enjoy it.
Revving up his engine, listen to the crowd just roar. No reason for tension, Zach is gonna shoot and score. Hyman's in the scoring zone. Right into the scoring zone. Signed for 7 years, now he's playing by McDavid's side. He's got you jumping out of your seat cause of that look in his eyes. Hyman's in the scoring zone. He'll take you right into
Zach
that
Hyman goal song for you this morning. I know we usually don't play goal songs after a loss.
You get
but
a point. It's
they're
an overtime
sponsored
loss.
by Sport Ball now,
Well,
so let's do it.
Sport Ball will
Plus, somebody already texted in, and Red texted in while we were playing that, just before I think we started playing it. Hyman is an absolute gem. I just love watching him play, and who doesn't? And you know what else we love? Sport Ball. You want to get your kids into Sport Ball? It's a great idea. Your kid will have a smile on their face as they learn multiple sports. Visit sportball.ca for more info. They've got some spring registration open right now. They got a ton of different programs over there. My kids were in like the general sports program for a long, long time, and they absolutely loved sport ball. It was never like, oh, we have to go sport ball. I was like, yes, let's go to sport ball because we're animals right now. And parents get involved. It's to be honest with you, sport ball was just like, now I look back on it, it was like a special memory for us. It was a lot of fun being in programs with your kids, and sport ball provides you that opportunity at a young age. All right, Corey Perry last night had the fight, ended up scoring in the third period, has basically been what you would have expected from Corey Perry since they brought him in,
well,
right?
You mentioned before the update, checked a lot of boxes of what they needed, and for a pretty reasonable price.
He showed up last night. Some other guys didn't. Here's what Corey Perry had to say after the game.
4-1 there, Corey, but kind of disappointing to be in that position in the first place a little bit.
Yeah, it was tough. It didn't go our way in the first, 35 minutes, I guess you could say, until that last shift, or a couple minutes left in the second, and then we came in, talked about it, and we found a way to get a point.
Do you need to have this conversation after the first, because it's kind of become a trend? Really bad in the second, and then really good in the third.
I guess might help, but I guess if we had answers, we'd fix it right away. But if we play the way we can, the way we did the last 5 minutes of that second period, we had them in. They couldn't change. They iced-puck a few times, and we just kept rolling them over. I mean, that's how we have to play. It's proven and to be successful, and we know we can do it. We just got to put it together.
I feel like there were some self-inflicted wounds a little bit tonight. Some things here and there, some mistakes.
Yeah, probably a few mistakes. Some easy to clean up, but like you said, we found a way to get a point, and that's all that matters after being down 4-1 or 4-2.
Corey, I feel like there was a pretty big adjustment without Ryan Nugent-Hopkins tonight. Just a lot of guys having to move around and pick up the slack a little bit.
Yeah, he's a huge part of this team. It's not an easy hole to fill, that's for sure. But I thought guys were in and out of that spot, and everybody found their way, and like I said, we got a point, and we'll move on and get ready for the next one.
There you go. That is Corey Perry of the Edmonton Oilers. A goal last night. He was there. I mean, Corey Perry had a presence on that hockey game. I thought an interesting comment came in the nasty chat, and of course you can text us. Paris Jewelers inbox, the Nielsen Show coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studios. You can go snag that Oilers meal here. That promotion is coming to an end here right away, but pick up your Oilers Collector's Cup at all Popeyes locations. For $16.99, you get the classic chicken sandwich or a spicy chicken sandwich, nuggets, Cajun fries, medium drink, dipping sauce, and one of the 4 Oilers Collector's Cups only at Popeyes, the official chicken supplier of the AM Nasty. JCD780 says he's been more than I expected, to be honest with you, and I think that's fair. I mean, Corey Perry hadn't played in quite some time, came in here, and basically right from the get-go, you're like, oh, Corey Perry's going to help the Edmonton Oilers. I thought there could have been a little bit more ramp-up time, but he scored 3 goals now? Does he have 3 goals now as an Oiler? Yeah, I think it's 3. I think his last night was his 3rd. He's obviously a guy who understands the moment. Like Wotherspoon had no idea. He wasn't going to go. And Perry didn't give him an option. He took the instigator to get the team going. So I was like, boom, okay, sorry, man, we're going. It's not like he dominated him. I thought it was a pretty evenly okay-ish fight. It wasn't a great scrap by any stretch of the imagination, but today's National Hockey League, decent tilt.
Yeah,
but he's been impactful on a team that has so many other players who should be definitely more impactful than a Corey Perry at the tail end of his National Hockey League career. I mean, you're the Oilers fans watching or listening right now. You have to be, I would think, very happy with the addition of Corey Perry.
And it's much like the Kane one from you're not giving up really anything to get him. And it checks so many boxes he had. And you're right, I would have expected maybe a little more time to get things going, cycling through the gears, if you will, with the amount of time that he wasn't playing. But he's come in as advertised from I guess you could argue a few years back, right? Like this is not Corey Perry present. This is the Corey Perry that we've seen over the years that has haunted this team. And it's good to see, especially with what you didn't really give up to get him. It's a hell of a gift. Hell of an.
He had a bigger impact on that hockey game last night than Leon Draisaitl did.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Draisaitl, Kane, McLeod line, it wasn't it last night. I don't like. I mean, it was better when it was McLeod and Fogle with Leon Draisaitl for that little stretch. Remember when they kind of got going a little bit? Not a good game. Not a good game from Leon Draisaitl's line last night, or Leon Draisaitl in general. Had that great chance in overtime to maybe bury it, but like prior to that, you hadn't even really heard much about Leon Draisaitl in that hockey game.
Chris Sadoway also suggests that maybe Connor Brown is your steady Eddie moving forward, steadily never scoring. Maybe that's I mean, he's steady Eddieing this thing out of the water.
In a positive twist, I will say that you know exactly what you're going to get.
Like, I think he gets an Esty, a steady Eddie Esty. If he keeps this up, you know?
Constant steady Eddie of the evening. Loomis is in and says, I don't want to hang around and wait for players to fall into our laps. We need to go out and actually address what ails us.
Oh, sure.
But here's the thing. What ails you? Because every time we talk about the deadline, it's like, upgrade the goaltending somehow. Upgrade Cody Ceci, which could have been used last night. I know Ceci comes out, like that's a misleading game. Ceci comes away with a couple of apples, and you're like, oh, look at the points here. But come on, Cody Ceci looked lost last night. You look at the fourth line, you go, they're not. It's not like you can't be rolling out Derek Ryan, Connor Brown, and Sam Gagner. Nothing against those guys, but you can't be rolling them out in a playoff series as like you're like they're gonna. That's probably gonna. With Nuge back in, one of those Gagner will probably be out. But I also don't feel good rolling out Derek Ryan, Matthias Janmark, and Connor Brown as the fourth line. Like that's not a fourth line that's going to have a positive impact for you in the postseason. I know you only need like 7-8 minutes out of them, but I don't even think you can get it. So then there's that, and then the most pressing need, according to many people, is a top six forward. So like we sit here and go, they have to address what ails them, but depending on who you talk to on any given day, there's like 4 needs still for this team, which seems crazy at this point. But, I mean, I think you can make a legitimate case. You're not going to get everything, but I think you can make a legitimate case that there would be like 4 different areas that you could try to address prior to the deadline.
Yeah, and having a player of Perry's ilk, and given that situation, the timing of it all, to fall into your lap when you're that cash strapped, I mean, I think you take that any day of the week. It's not like they're sitting here game planning that way, but yeah, you got to be happy with that.
Andrews in it says, CC got caught up high like 3 or 4 times last night that all led to chances for the Bruins. Like I said earlier, I thought CC was lost on the ice last night. I don't know what was going on there.
Well, the coach chimes in, Leon looked sick, boys. Short shifts and always bent over. Felt he was gutting it out. Once again, that comes in from the coach.
But he didn't gut it out because he like gutting it out.
But I hate
is
gutting
actually
it out.
having.
But like
every single time Leon Draisaitl has a bad game, he's hurt or sick. Every single time.
And
I can't take it
and
anymore.
It's
ridiculous.
If you're hurt or sick, I don't want you. Like I don't. The playing at a 50% clip doesn't do it for me. Like I'll give you a medal. Great, good on you. You gutted it out. But if you're not helping, you're hurting, right? I think
that is the saying. The Dr. Carpy in the nasty chat says, spoiler alert, other teams make deals. GMs apparently get paid for it. You know, I get that. I understand.
You
desperately want Ken Hall to make a trade. Okay, I get it. But everybody thinks they're just going to address every single thing. Like you can just go out and make 4 trades prior to the deadline. In what crazy world are we living in where every single general manager in the National Hockey League addresses every single issue they have prior to the deadline? That just doesn't happen. It never does. Teams make additions, but you're not gonna plug every single hole.
Well, so maybe you subscribe to Jason LeDuc's theory here, 780-218-9999. We need to switch the vocab from we need to address this to we want to address this.
Yeah, you want to address a lot of things.
Sure.
But what technically are you able to address prior to the trade deadline? This text is in and says, everybody's shooting high on Skinner and scoring. He's got to button that up. What do you guys think? Well, first of all, I'm not to be confused with Joaquin Gage, our goalie analyst, who will be on 2 Guys and a Goalie today discussing this. He'll be on the Hangout today discussing it, and he'll be on the Nielsen Show today. A busy day for Gager. Ben Scrivens last night, by the way, stepped in on short notice.
Yeah.
Tommy Gazzola did a great job. Pretty smooth talker.
Down at Bourbon Street.
Highly educated man. he wasn't at Bourbon, but Tommy was at Bourbon Street. Yeah. It's funny. I cannot remember who said it. It's driving me nuts because it's come back up a couple of times. I felt like it was said in the studio, or I was talking to somebody else, and they brought up a similar thing with Skinner. And I wish I could remember who brought this up to me, but it's been stuck in my head for a bit. And they said this was when he was playing very well, and the team was obviously on a streak, winning 16 in a row. And you're like, man, Skinner just looks perfect right now. And somebody said, he goes, yeah, but in a playoff series, teams are going to learn to go high on him, and they're going to light him up. And I was just like, well, yeah, maybe we'll see. But and then you get that text today. I saw like a text a couple of days ago where somebody's like, guys, what do you think about Skinner up high? And then I always go back to that conversation. Damn it, I wish I could remember who it was. But
can you describe the person?
It makes an interesting point. Like once you get into a playoff series, you have more time to learn the tendencies of these goalies and stuff. And I think it's a legitimate concern for teams to attack Stuart Skinner high. Like the Marchand goal wasn't even high. It went by like his blocker short side. It was not a good night for Stuart Skinner. Stuart Skinner's numbers since the All-Star break have been below average and simply need to be better. The team in front of him on the penalty kill has to start doing a better job. So there are issues with this team, but comes back around to, as an Oilers fan, I think you have to be happy with the point that they got last night from the Boston Bruins. What it does still set up is, we went back and forth yesterday in the oil stream a little bit. 5-game homestand. What are you expecting points wise from there? Tommy said 6 of a possible 10 points would be good. I said, but that's the expectations we have when they go on the road. Like, I think you need a little bit more than just 6 of the 10 points during the homestand. And I know there are some more difficult teams here, but aren't the Oilers supposed to be one of the Cup contenders?
No, yeah.
Like the Kings should be. It's a tough test, but the Oilers should be better than the Kings. Minnesota Wild, the Calgary Flames, the Oilers are better than these teams. So I said that they should come away with at least 7 points in the homestand, a 3-1-1 situation. They took the 1 last night. So now they got to win 3 of the next 4 in the homestand for me to be considering it. Success. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. This one's in from CB Radio Guy. Fellas, the Oil needs some bottom 6 players who kill penalties and are hard to play against. I've said it once. I've said it a million times. Love that saying. If I said it once, I've said it a million times. Dowd and Mallenstein are the top tier for D-zone starts, and they play against top lines of every other team. They have size, speed, and some touch. Mallenstein could be re-signed for $1 to $1.7 million, which will be needed next year. I really think that's the trade that gets made. My work, Dowd and Mallenstein to Edmonton for Brown, of course. They're going to take Brown off the hands.
Give us your steady.
A first and a fourth and maybe Gagne. So there you go. I appreciate the work. CB Radio Guy did the homework.
Doing the work.
Show your work.
Yes.
He showed the work.
Somebody just texted in a list of players to go get, and that was it. You can't do that. We will not.
At least that's some work. Well, at least that's not like a text saying, get somebody.
It's a list, go get them. Like, well,
Yeah.
But here's one. Unsigned, as they usually are. So does Kane become Barry and get moved for Konechny or another feisty forward that might be more suited to play with McDavid or Dry? Or Kane will be back for 2-year, 1 playoff performer, not a repeat of last year. So is Kane somebody who gets, again, offering him up, maybe saying the Barry, and you move that out for something else? I think Konechny got involved last night as well with the Flyers and getting on the score sheet. But
I'm still trying to figure out why are the Flyers trading Travis Konechny?
Well, no, but that's, again,
I know everybody wants
2 to tango.
Go get Konechny. Why? Why are the Flyers going to trade Travis Konechny?
You list all these names, and what's the...
I don't understand the fantasy world that some people are living in when it comes to some of these players. Like, the Philadelphia Flyers are going to go and trade Travis Konechny, who's one of their leaders, and the Flyers right now are 3rd in their division. You know who else is 3rd in their division? The Edmonton Oilers. Why are the Flyers all of a sudden just going to pull the shoe and be like, yeah, take Travis Konechny off our hands? It doesn't make sense to me. You're living in a fantasy land.
I would love to see Evander and Tortorella, though. Take me to that fantasy land. Barry chimes in. Does upgrading Ceci help the transition game, negating the need for a top 6? Lots of ways to help the Oilers via trade. Holland just needs to get it done.
Yes.
But
I mean, it's his job. Do your job.
Yes, and there's lots of ways to help via trade. I'm sure there's lots of avenues to explore. But maybe it's a 2-for-1. The CC thing, you get a good puck moving, and that maybe negates the.
Well, the one thing you can do is if they bring in a top six forward, it knocks one of the guys who plays from the third line or in the top six down to the fourth line.
Beefs up that.
Sort of improves your depth down the lineup. That's kind of the two birds, one stone approach. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Text us in the Paris Jewelers inbox. Hit us up in the nasty chat. We're here for you today. If you are watching on YouTube right now, smash the thumbs up for us. That would be great. And give us a sub if you haven't already. All right, let's get into I Says Pardon, brought to you by Lawyer Central. Get a clean slate for an affordable rate. Everybody makes stupid mistakes. It's just simple. Everybody does. Some of you might still be paying for it, and you don't have to. Call 1-888-288-8177 or go to lawyer-central.com/pardons to find out more about getting a pardon. Maybe you did something stupid in your early 20s and you still can't travel because of a criminal record, or you can't have a certain job or something. They'll look after you. They'll get this taken care of for you. Reach out. It works. www.lawyer-central.com/pardons or 1-888-288-8177. I know this is a weird way to go as everybody's in full-blown meltdown on the Oil right now, but Austin Matthews has 51 goals in 54 games. I says pardon? I went back and looked this up last night because I was just like, man, 51 goals in 54 games.
He has 151 and 181.
Is that what it is? Is he scored 151 goals in the last 181
181.
Games? My God. Had two more last night, so he hit 50. Then he hit 51. We're going to get into this with Mike Johnson a little bit.
With who in the house down south?
Oh, yeah, Rick Pinter was there.
To watch his boys score 50 and 51.
We got some good Rick Pinter stuff coming your way for that's so good.
He's on quite a trip, and good for Rick to see all that. But
anyway, yeah, and shout out to Rick for helping us out with our request this week. So that was a lot of fun. You'll be ready for tomorrow for him. That's good. 51 goals in 54 games. I went and looked this up. Since 2009, the 51 goals that Matthews has scored in 54 games would have already won the Rocket Richard in all but 4 of those seasons. He had 60 once. Ovi had 53 once and won it. Then McDavid had 60. Stamkos had 60. Outside of those 3 60-goal seasons and Ovi getting 53, Austin Matthews technically would have already won the Rocket Richard in all of those other seasons, and it's still February. It's like mid-February, like kind of mid to late-ish February. It's and I know it's like Toronto, and I'm a very anti-Leafs guy. Everybody knows that. But this is a ridiculous goal-scoring season that this guy's putting.
I know what you're asking. What do they rename the award, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you'll get there at some point.
The Matthews Missile.
At some point, I feel like we just need to stop mocking the Leafs and be like, this dude is having an unbelievable goal-scoring season. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah. When will the Draisaitl Matthews comparison stop, right?
He's on pace for 76 goals right now, which would be the 5th highest total all time by an NHL player. The only players who have scored more than 76, Wayne Gretzky, 92, Wayne Gretzky, 87, Brett Hull, 86. I think that was his Hart Trophy year. And then Mario Lemieux, 85. Mogilny, Solani, Esposito all scored 76. But Matthews is on pace for 76 right now. I'm not sure he hit 76, but this dude's scoring 70 goals this year, which is just as crazy it is on the point production side with McDavid and putting up some of like the crazy numbers he has that only Gretzky and Mario type of thing have done. That's what Matthews is doing with the goal scoring this year. It's insane. The fastest to 50 since Mario in the mid-90s. Like,
we are not worthy.
I know everybody talks about it all the time, but you just have to admit that we are witnessing one of the greatest goal-scoring seasons in the history of the National Hockey League.
Credit where credit is due.
I says pardon. 51 goals in 54 games.
Also a third-place team in their division. Winners of 5 straight, 8-2 in their last 10. 70 points for your Toronto Maple Leafs.
Just like the Philadelphia Flyers.
And the Edmonton Oilers.
Here
we are.
Third place teams in these divisions.
Making the news.
Stony Soprano Yukon says, Matthews' numbers in the playoffs. Leafs suck. I get it. I understand it. Look, as I said at the beginning of the segment, I'm the most anti-Leaf guy you'll ever find. But at some point, you just got to accept the greatness that we're witnessing. And 51 goals in 54 games is a total, pardon moment.
Well, Brandon from Windsor, good for him. He got his 50. Now focus on playing some defense to help your team make the playoffs.
Yeah, well, is he perfect? He's not perfect. I get it.
Well-rounded game.
But he scored 51 goals in 54 games. I think you can kind of get away with, a little bit here or there. Like
151 and 181.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous what he's doing from a goal scoring perspective this year. And I know you hate to talk about it and you hate to discuss it and this and that, but his 51 goals this year are 12 more than anybody else in the National Hockey League so far. It's very impressive. And I'm gonna sit here and swallow my Leaf hatred and just say this is real nice. Like McDavid and Draisaitl combined, how many goals do they have combined this year? Draisaitl is 27. McDavid's got 21. Matthews has more goals combined. He has more goals than McDavid and Draisaitl combined this season. Like that's next level year.
But McDavid's defensive game. Let's see Austin is to the texter's point.
Yeah.
Let's see you play the.
Well, Draisaitl would have more obviously if he wasn't hurt or sick in every game in which he doesn't play well. JCD 780 says it's going to overshadow Hyman scoring 50. I mean, Hyman's going to take a legitimate run at 50.
Sure.
Sam Reinhart's probably going to get to 50. Kucherov's at 36. He'll take a run at 50. Pasternak will take a run at 50. McKinnon's going to take a run at 50. I think those are probably the only guys that take a legitimate run at it. But Matthews is already there. We're talking about these guys might get there by the end of the season. He's there already. And we're going to get into it. Mike Johnson's going to join us. He is in Vegas, where I do believe the Toronto Maple Leafs are heading next. Yeah, they're there tonight, so we'll set that one up a little bit.
Oh, Mystic Mike, eh?
Mystic Mike.
Mystic Mike.
Mystic Mike. By the way, yesterday on the Lock Shop, what did Huss and I say? Austin Matthews, over 1.5 goals last night. It was like plus 330. And sure, he's in Arizona.
Yeah.
Looking for 50. It was like minus 129 for 1 goal. That was an automatic. That was just free money at that point. But Huss is like, I think I'm going to get on him over 1.5 here. And he ended up cashing in. Filthy guy. Based at home says, Leon in the playoffs is better. I get it. I understand. Everybody's better. I understand. I'm just saying. 51 and 54 is that's a respect-earning situation right there.
And the goal count's also reset when you get into the postseason, too. He won't be running in with...
Exactly.
I mean, it's all...
I'm not sitting here saying I'm still sitting here saying they're going to be eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, like always.
Yeah.
I just say 51 goals in 54 games is worth an I says pardon segment.
You'll give him that, hey?
Give him the segment.
Yeah, sure.
I'll give him the segment. Chad's in it says McDavid doesn't even shoot anymore for some reason.
Yeah, I know, because he is
coming
of
up
age.
with some pretty good shooting opportunities. Matthews having more goals than both of the guys combined though is insane. Like it's unbelievable. It's nuts. All right, Mike Johnson is on the way for Pro-Am Sports. MJ is going to be by. Pro-Am announced a couple more signings yesterday, big ones. So we'll get into that. Mike Johnson from Vegas coming up here on the other side of 7 o'clock. Give you a chance to win a gift certificate coming up here in the third hour of the show. We got one to Mr. Mike's. We got another one to Hudson's. So we got lots going on there. I got beef coming up around 7:30. If your beef is me giving Austin Matthews the slightest bit of love on the show today, that's okay. It's okay. Just text us your beef. Whatever you have beef with, 780-218-9999. Let's get to a sports rewind with Lieutenant Eric. Whoa, what's still playing there? What is...
Give it to me.
What was playing? Let me figure it out.
Need a hero.
Koskinen song.
The Oilers, come on.
His name is Miko. Had a shutout last night. What a banger. Mikko Koskinen shutout song. That's the best. Sports Rewind.
Just play that under. 6-5 your final as the Bruins down the Oilers in overtime down at Rogers Place. Charlie McAvoy with the winner. Warren Foegele with a pair of goals for Edmonton. Stuart Skinner stopping 30 of 36 in his 100th career start. Oilers will play Game 2 of a 5-game homestand tomorrow against the Wild. Elsewhere, Austin Matthews collecting his 50th and 51st of the season. Leafs double up Arizona 6-3. Habs followed the Sabres 3-2. Flyers defeating Chicago 3-1. And Columbus with a 7-4 win over the Ducks. Oil Kings with a 5-4 win over the Hitmen yesterday afternoon from Rogers Place. The club hit the road and visit Lethbridge tomorrow night. Camrose over Bonnyville 2-1 in overtime. No games tonight around the AJHL, 3 scheduled for tomorrow. PWHL action saw Boston top Ottawa 3-1. New York over Montreal 4-3 in a shootout. Action resumes tomorrow with Toronto at home to New York. Selena Sturmay's team Alberta suffering its first loss at the Scotties last night. 8-7 against Newfoundland and Labrador. Alberta will wrap up its round-robin play in the afternoon draw against 4-3 British Columbia. Coverage begins at 1:30. Raptors hosting the Nets tonight as NBA regular season schedule resumes. It's one of 12 games around the league. Sports Update brought to you by Universal Rewind. Maintenance days aren't just for when your hip flexor is bothering you. Contact Universal Rewind to have them properly maintain your motors. Choose experience, expertise, and quality. Choose Universal Rewind.
The Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
.03 on the Nielsen Show. Thank you very much for being here today. Another beautiful day on the way here in Edmonton, which is wreaking havoc on the backyard rink. But it is going to be cooling down like come Sunday.
Sunday night, Monday, and then into Tuesday, I think you got like a 2.5 day of...
Take me down to Flood City.
You'll be lighting that torch again, right? Hey,
oh, it's going to be great.
These ceremonies and
it's going to be great. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can text us this morning. Your thoughts on the Oilers' overtime loss to the Boston Bruins. A god-awful second period. A good third period to at least get the point, and then losing in overtime despite having a power play for a decent chunk of early overtime. The Oilers end up falling to the Boston Bruins. In the second hour of the show, we do have your Cool Bet hotline of the day coming up. We'll go there around 7:20 this morning. I got beef for Acme Meats. What do you got beef with? You can text us at 780-218-9999. We'll do that around 7:30 this morning as well. People are obviously fired up today, and we're going to get into that. Mike Johnson, our next guest, usually
Mike
joins us on Fridays. He was hanging out last night with my buddy who I referred to on the show as Eddie the Gambler. And Eddie texted me last night. He goes,
what were they getting up to?
I was watching the game with MJ tonight. I said, you tell him to get to bed. He's got to be up early from Vegas this morning. He joins us today for Pro-Am Sports, where they just announced signings with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Dylan Holloway. You can find more on that on their website at proamsports.ca. MJ, good morning. How's Vegas?
Good morning. Yes. Appropriate to come live from you nice and early. We did, like good studious workers, we watched the games last night in the sports book, just to work, of course.
Yes, of course.
And although it was great, like we watched the end of the Leafs, all the games were up. It's a sports book, but then
it's the best.
We had some vocal people in our party that wanted the Oiler game on the big screen, so it took over the basketball and the football, whatever else was going on. So it's Vegas. It's funny, like from Toronto, it feels like a long way to get here. It's like 4.5 hours, a pretty good flight, and you're kind of miserable, long flight. But then you get here, there's just something in the air that kind of wakes you up and says, you know what? I think I'm going to have a good night tonight. So, we had a good night last night.
We were there 2 weeks ago now. We did shows there for three days in a row, man, and it was
easy.
It sucks getting up at 4:30 in Vegas. I'm not gonna lie, but we managed to do it. So obviously Eddie gets the game on the big screen. There's something about just sitting in a sports book consuming sports, isn't there? It's just I love it. It's the best.
Yeah, well, I mean, like obviously we're all sports fans. And
no, he froze. He'll reconnect. We know you can stream from a hotel room.
Oh, no, it's been done. Yeah, there is. Yeah,
he's coming back through. Sorry, Mike, we lost you for a second. We got you.
That's good. Saying like you get in those recliners,
yes,
and you sit back, and you have this like wall just assaulting. You don't know which way to go and which way to watch. But it's and then if you're so inclined, like you could bet on, like, we were laughing. There was a Air Force UNLV game on the big screen. I'm like, you want to bet on their big West games? Like, whatever, they're right there. Just grab the machine and off we go.
It's extremely convenient. Betting in Vegas is extremely convenient. I love it. The Edmonton Oilers, we were saying today, like, fans should probably be pretty pleased that they got a point, considering they were garbage in the second period now. It's like, I think in their last 6 games now, they've allowed 16 goals in the second period. They've managed to salvage a lot in the third period, but how does a team just fall apart in the second period over and over and over again?
I mean, you could say maybe it's a long change or something like that, but that seems a little bit excessive for a team that's as good as Edmonton. I think it's just the ebbs and flows. Maybe it's a lack of focus. Maybe they get comfortable in a game. We watched the game very closely, and it was a good game. It was exciting.
It was a great game.
Boston, obviously a good team. They're going to push you. They're going to make you to make mistakes. But I guess the concerns for the Oilers would be, yes, great point. Happy to come back. You don't come back from 4-1 down often and get points. That's good. And they're battling to get home ice against Vegas. Like, this is really important points to try to accumulate. But I guess the bigger concern would be, what powered Edmonton through that long winning streak was their defense, was their goaltending, was their penalty kill. And that is all sort of slips post All-Star break. And, it was never going to be as good as it was during the run, but it's got to be better than it has been since the All-Star break. So I think that's kind of like the larger macro concern. Like, they have to get back to the defense that was keeping them in every game and not worry about the offense or running it up. And, corresponding to that, Stuart Skinner, that wasn't like he not only did he give up whatever the 6 goals, but he wasn't close on a few of them. He didn't look great. There weren't crazy ones that beat him. They're just shots that beat him, and he wasn't that close to. So I think that would be sort of the concern coming out of that game. The second period thing is hard to explain, but the overall lack of defense post All-Star break is probably a bigger issue that they're trying to deal with right now.
Yeah, I think you break it down great. I mean, there was that one stretch during the 16-game heater in which they allowed 18 goals over 14 games, which you're going to win the majority of those games. And they happen to win them all. There's been an interesting debate here in Edmonton over the last couple of days on Edmonton Sports Talk here with us about, does Skinner look frustrated? Does he look like
mentally fatigued?
Danger described him as like mentally fatigued. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think playing Skinner less gets him out of a little bit of a funk right now? Because that usually doesn't work, in my opinion.
I think it sort of depends on the goalie, right? Like, some goalies love the volume and they want to play their way out of a rut. Some, like Carey Price, best goalie in the world, last 15 years. When he was going through a rut, he would always want to take like a week away from the team. Like, he would just sort of practice on his own for 4 or 5 days and then come back and play and refine his game with his goalie coach. Depends on the goaltender, but he looks off, and to me, like, he looks less confident. Like, he's kind of guessing on pucks, and they're not that close to him. He looks off. So whatever it takes to get him back on, whether that means play him more, play him less, practice more, practice less, whatever it is, because this was always part of the conversation, right? When it comes to the backup in Edmonton, not so much do you want a good backup, but you want a guy that can give Skinner whatever rest he needs heading in down the stretch. All right. So make sure that whatever it is, whether it's 2 out of 3 games, 3 out of 4, whatever it is, he can play that comfortably and you have no problem starting the backup. So that would be I'm sure they're having those conversations with Stuart and with the goalie coach and trying to work through it, but they got to get that right, because without it, it doesn't really matter, as we all know what else you can do, because without a goaltender, you're not doing anything regular season or playoff wise, especially a first round matchup that's going to be as difficult as Vegas.
Well, and then going out from the goaltending and out to the crease to the blue line, and as you mentioned, both of these going hand in hand during the winning streak as well, and now, what would you do with this blue line? Would you be comfortable, Mike, going into a postseason with this personnel as it stands right now? Because as you mentioned, it looked really good. It's probably not this bad. It's maybe somewhere in the middle, but would you be comfortable riding with this group as it stands right now without any changes, additions, or maybe even subtractions?
I'd be comfortable. I mean, because there are no perfect teams, right? Like, could they be better? Of course. Like, if you go get Chris Tanev, if you go get Hanifin, you go get whatever, they'll make your defense better. And that's what you're trying to do. But let's not forget, as you mentioned, 18 goals against in 14 games, 90% penalty kill over a month and a half. Like, those are long stretches of excellent play. Like, so I know that Cody Cece's had a tough little run here. Are there better defensemen than Cody Cece? Of course. But how do you get them? How do you afford them? I mean, that's the kind of internal conversation they're having. But I think as a unit, they can play better than they have, and they can play well enough to win in the playoffs. But it would not surprise me if they're still sniffing around. Even the big boys, the top flight UFA defensemen, they're probably taking a look at to try to upgrade. It's that time of the Oilers' existence. Like, they go for it. They mortgage future. They sell first. They trade prospects to make their team as good as it can be this year, knowing that, 5 years from now, like, that'll be tougher because they won't have those players, but they're trying to win and they have an opportunity to win right now. So, yeah, I would be comfortable, but I would be more comfortable maybe if they went and got an upgrade back there.
NHL analyst Mike Johnson with us here on the Nielsen Show this morning. You said, I mean, the game was very exciting. Overtime was the thriller. JVR comes out of the box, has the breakaway. Skinner stops him. Evander Kane's taken a lot of heat today for not chasing down the puck to negate the icing and then laying around trying to block the attempt that ended up leading to the goal. I went back and watched because you watch the game and then you hop online. Everybody's freaking out about Evander Kane, so I went back and watched the shift, and both he and Nurse were behind the Bruins. I mean, what'd you think of them just deciding to go off and take the icing? It didn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know what was going on there. So
I didn't need to rewatch it. I watched that in real time with an ardent Oiler fan, and I'm like, what the to the point where it's like the way my mind works, I'm watching it and I'm putting myself out there, like, what would I do? And when both Nurse and Kane peeled off, I immediately assumed icing had been waved off.
Yeah.
Because there is no explanation. Like, and if one of the two of them should go, it should be Kane. Let the defenseman change, obviously. Kane just has to drift down to the top of the circles. Swayman will play the puck, and then you can go and change yourself because they were exhausted. But, we know that when you get tired, not only do your legs stop working, your mind stops working as well. Like, you just don't process things as cleanly. But that was a really bad decision from a couple of veteran players. Like, it's just maybe a lack of awareness, or maybe they thought we're so far beyond the Boston players, it won't be icing because we are at center, but way before everybody else. But in real time, I was like, that's terrible. Like, someone's just got to drift in there. You don't have to chase it down.
Yeah.
Just drift in there. The goalie will touch it, and then you change. And then, like, you saw how much they were struggling. Kane tried to take the intentional delay to get a few extra seconds on the next faceoff. And then once they lost it, it was going to be tough. They get tangled up. Kane goes sliding. And I don't fault him the way he defended that. Obviously, with more energy, he would have done it better, but he's desperately trying to block shots. That's not the problem. The problem is the easy fix. Just skate to the top of the circle slowly, as tired as you want, and then cruise over to the bench. And then you have three fresh guys. And the other option was post power play after the JVR breakaway. We had this conversation. Would it have been a good idea to call timeout?
Yeah.
And like, we know who they want on the ice. We know that the rotation that they had out there with all those players, they would like to get back to their normal rotation for 3-on-3. You call a timeout and you let McDavid and Draisaitl go at it again. And basically they play the first 3 minutes. They take 1 minute off. They play the last minute. They get 4 or 5 minutes, and you try to win the game that way. There is a conversation to have there, but that does not excuse, like, tough end of the game for Evander Kane, who's played well as of late. But, the pass to Perry was probably ill-advised as Perry was tired. Got Pasternak the one goal, the fifth goal, I think it was. And then, the decision not to chase down the puck. It was just a fatigued mental lapse that ended up costing them.
MJ, before I let you go, you are in Vegas. You were awaiting the Toronto Maple Leafs to roll in. Austin Matthews, 2 more last night, 51 in 54 games, the fastest to get there since Mario in the mid-90s. He's on pace for 76, would be tied for the 5th highest total of all time. I got ripped a little bit in the last hour because
you gave him his due.
I gave him some love.
Yeah.
I mean, here in the market,
God
they're like,
forbid.
What are you talking about? I was just like, well, actually, he has more combined goals than McDavid and Draisaitl this year, which is just an insane stat. I mean, nobody's done it better in almost 30 years. This is nuts. And Mike Johnson he just disconnected on us. He's going to come back because I do want to get his thoughts on
He's tired of your Matthews praise. Too much.
Yeah, exactly. I can't take it. I've got to be on the broadcast tonight. Now he's back. MJ, this guy, there's nothing you can say about him right now. It's ridiculous.
No, I mean, you just said it. You gave the historical context, and we're playing in a different era. I know goals are up, but they're not up to 93, 94 levels. And, it's okay to say he's the best goal scorer. That doesn't make him the best player if you're a fan of McKinnon or a fan of McDavid. It's okay to say he deserves to be in the Hart conversation because he deserves to be in the Hart conversation for what he's doing. You look at the goals, you look at the primary points. He's the best goal scorer in the world. He has been really since he's entered the league, especially at 5-on-5. And the fact of the matter that he's going to be pushing 60 and 60, that he's talking, if he doesn't get to 70 guys, it feels like something strange has happened.
Yeah, I know.
What are we doing?
It's nuts.
What are we doing? The graphic, of course, comes up everywhere. Current players with more than 50 goals in a season, more than once. It's Ovi's got 9, Leon's got 3, Stammer's got 2, Matthews has 2. It just doesn't happen. How many guys have 60 more than once that are currently playing? I think it's just Stammer, Ovi, and Austin Matthews had it once. He, of course, is going to get 60 again, 9 in the next 25 games. So, he is exactly what he's supposed to be, which is the best goal scorer in the world. Leafs are lucky to have him. They have needed him, and he deserves to be in the conversation for the best player in the league this year. Not saying he's the best, but he definitely deserves to be in that conversation this year.
Enjoy your day in Vegas. Have a good broadcast tonight. We'll catch up next week, man.
All right, boys. Have a good day.
There you go. That is Mike Johnson with a TSN, and he'll be working that game tonight in the Leafs region against the Golden Knights. This text is in and says, why are we acting like Ovi doesn't exist anymore? Look, I am the biggest Alexander Ovechkin fan of all time. I love Alexander Ovechkin. But Ovechkin never scored 76. Now, Matthews hasn't either. He's on pace for 76 right now. Ovi tapped out at 65. But Matthews is having an undeniably amazing goal-scoring season. And what did you say? Was it 131?
151 and 181?
Yeah, 151. And he's got 151 goals in his last 181 games.
Pretty good.
Which is insane. And he was one of the few players at the All-Star draft to actually show some charisma.
Yeah. I mean, if he wasn't in Toronto of all places, you might give him 2 segments on the show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. You're right. I laid out earlier that the 51 goals he's already scored would have been enough to win the Rocket Richard every single year except 4 since 2009. And it's February. So it's impressive. Now, will they still be eliminated by the Boston Bruins in the first round of the playoffs? And will it be hilarious? Yes and yes. But
are you saying his career is being wasted in Toronto? Is that what you're alluding to here?
Well, he wants to get back and play in Mullet Arena. Who would not want to play in Mullet Arena?
And look, if he's a Coyote, he'd arguably be more beloved around the league, right? Nobody would hate him as much as you do when you're playing for the Leafs.
Correct.
Make the move.
Correct.
Make the move today for your career.
7,000 Graham texts in and says, Austin Matthews got to 50 before Connor Brown got 1. Weird comparison today. Weird comparison, but here we are.
Steady Eddie.
Here we are. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. As D. White says. But he's a Leaf, so it doesn't matter. We can move on. We can get back to Stuart Skinner. We had to discuss this a little bit. Is this the team in front of him, or is Skinner just not playing well right now? Who's got an answer to that?
Chicken or egg? Well, at the beginning of the season, it was the defense, right?
It was the blue line. Absolute god-awful train wreck of a blue line. Or team defense overall in general. Yeah. Since Knobloch took over, things had tightened up. Have not been as tight lately. A little leaky. Trev, what do you think? Is this more on Skinner, or is it on what's going on in front of him?
I was just going to say, I've said it from the beginning of the year, I think Stuart Skinner is as good as the team is playing in front of him. I don't think he's going to win you a crazy amount of games. A lot of it relies, he does rely a lot on the team and how they're playing in front of him. So that's kind of where I'm at. And it's shown, right? The defense, the Oilers, in general, in front, they look bad. Well, Stewart's numbers, they go down, by quite a bit. And the team, when they were on that heater, they weren't letting in goals, and a lot of that was because of the team in front was just playing really good. He had a few good games, but
he did.
I don't know. I'm a big believer in that personally, but
a few good games. So again, we say good, we never say great.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what you're getting to. Like he's not doing it on his own. It's always.
I'm trying to think because he's in this spot where he hasn't stole many games this year. With that being said, I know on the post game, and Trev, you've done a lot of the post games. I know on the post game, like Gager and Cass have declared he stole that one here or there. But what's the number of games that he's cost them? I also don't think it's big. I feel like it's kind of just in that middle territory. Like he's only stolen a few, but he's probably only cost you a few since Knobloch took over, post Woodcroft era. So I don't know where the conversation is at on Stuart Skinner right now. I don't necessarily want to see more of Calvin Pickard, but I think it might be necessary to see a little bit more of Calvin Pickard here. Not that he's going to supplant Stuart Skinner. You're screwed if that ends up happening. But maybe take a little bit off of Stuart Skinner right now.
Ryan from Saskatchewan says 50-50. Skinner's fatigue is showing, and there have been a lot of breakdowns in front of him.
Yeah,
maybe it's as simple as that.
I mean, the honest take. Rob from LA is in and says, a 780-218-9999 pound the Paris Steelers inbox. Could win A&W text of the day. For example, VR Montenegro. Enough with Matthews love already. You act like he's the second coming of Ron Francis.
Keep the train going there.
Rob from LA says, Skinner's just leaving too much room short side. Did it twice last night. Who pointed it out? It was yesterday on Twitter in reply to my 3 quick thoughts from the game last night. Somebody said the Oilers will be at the disadvantage in goaltending in every playoff matchup in the West, with the exception of going up against LA with Talbot. So,
looking at that right now.
If you break it down right now, Demko definitely ticks the box if you're looking head-to-head against Skinner. Aiden Hill has already outperformed Skinner in a playoff series, so by default, you kind of have to go there.
And then the rest.
And then on the other side, Jake Ottinger, Connor Hellebuck. I mean, I'm not a huge Georgiev guy.
There could be there could be an argument made there, I guess. But yes, to the point of the West and how it stacks right now, it's
with the way they've been playing right now. Yes, they would be at a disadvantage between the pipes against a few of these teams. Jimmy Penner's in and says, "You guys need to settle down. Stu has 104 games in his NHL career. He's being asked to do more than ever planned." We mentioned that at the beginning of the season when I was adamantly defending their goaltenders because the team was such a god-awful train wreck in front of them. Stuart Skinner is still supposed to be Jack Campbell's backup. Like in the long-term play, that's where they were supposed to be at right now. The problem is that this is the hand the Oilers are dealt right now. So whether he's played 104 games or 400 games, for the here and now with the Edmonton Oilers who want to be in the cup window, we have to have this discussion about Stuart Skinner. Whether it's fair or not, it's the conversation that has been thrust upon you Oilers fans out there right now. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Hammer the thumbs up. We'd love to hit 200 likes there today. It goes a long way in the algorithm, so other people will find the show. RCN is in and says, talking point this summer is going to be how the Oil need to find a goalie who can play 30 games so Skinner doesn't get worn out a third season in a row. Greg in the Nasty Chat says, did you guys see Jeff Walker's Twitter post about Scooby-Doo and pulling off Connor Brown's mask to reveal Tobias Reeder? That's a hot take. Somebody said that to me last night, or I saw it pop up. Somebody quote tweeted. I was like, damn it, Walker. That is a pretty good take.
Amazing.
It's a pretty good take. I almost stole it for one of my hot takes, but I figured it would probably pop up here at some point today. Scalding hot takes around 8:40 this morning once Your Honor gets here. And Eric looks to defend the mitt. I want to talk a little bit as we continue to work our way through the hour. We do have I Got Beef coming up. Got some good beefs already rolling into the Paris Steelers inbox. We'll go there just after 7:30 this morning. But what the hell is going on in overtime, too? We got to get into that a little bit more. We have Knobloch. Maybe we'll get to Knobloch here in the second hour, too. Usually we do our little post-game audio stuff in the first hour of the show. But I'm interested to see what he had to say because MJ brought it up. I mean, a couple of things. He made a good point. Like, Evander Kane might have been exhausted when that puck went down the ice, but you didn't have to bust your balls all the way down the ice. The moment you get over center, closer to the blue line, prior to and those guys are still behind you, Swayman's coming out to play that puck. and then icing's completely waved off. So you didn't even need to like race somebody down to the hash mark. See, I thought MJ made an interesting point there. And then you definitely could have called the timeout after the power play. That's one that I'm a little bit torn on. So we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that coming up here around 7:40 this morning, because I might be a bit of a hypocrite if I'm like, you should have called the timeout. So we'll get into that a little bit coming up here just after 7:30 today. We got to get into your cool bet hotline of the day right now. I mean, this is that whole my roulette strategy. Like when we were in Vegas, I'd sit there on those two machines with the roulette wheel, and I'd sit there and I'd wait. And Maddie Wannick and I completely disagreed on this strategy, but I'd wait until one of the boards had hit like 6 reds in a row, and then I just hammer black for. Now, at one point, it basically wiped me out because I was just like, what the hell? It hit like 10 reds in a row, and I was like, oh, black's coming now. Big bet on it. Red again. Oh, I got to double down. The roulette's the easiest game ever. Hit it again. Double zeros. Whatever.
So you're going back to the NBA tonight?
No. I was going to say, I want to keep riding that McDavid goal. I mean, they're not playing tonight, so we can't. But
I wouldn't put it past
that's
him.
The long story here is I'm on Connor McDavid to score a goal until he gets one, because it's now been 7 games without a goal for Connor McDavid. Been racking up a ton of assists. But the goals aren't there. People aren't happy with some of the shooting opportunities that he's passing up either. Here's your lock shot play of the day today. We don't need to spend too much time on it. I like the number as well. I know they've been struggling a little bit recently. First sort of adversity that the Canucks have faced this season. They are a -124 favorite on the road tonight in Seattle. This is a great get-right spot for the Vancouver Canucks. And I know, Nielsen talked about Austin Matthews nicely in the first hour. Oh, Nielsen picking the Vancouver Canucks. Is this even an Oilers show anymore? First of all, this is a sports show that just happens to talk a lot about the Oilers, especially the day after a thrilling loss to the Boston Bruins. But the Vancouver Canucks, and we're going to break down this whole slate today on the Lock Shop. If you haven't checked out the Lock Shop yet, you're missing out. Huss is a national treasure. It's a fun show. And it's not just like, here's all the odds, here's all the games. We're just talking sports for a lot of the hour, and we're happen to giving you a bunch of winners usually. So Canucks -124 on the money line tonight in Seattle against the Kraken. That will be your cool bet hotline of the day right here on the Nielsen Show. Gord is in and says, guys, just logged in. How's the UC Saros talk been this morning?
I love the just logging in guy. I really enjoy that.
All right. And for those of you saying, should have called timeout after the icing, you can't. Can't call a timeout in that situation. Could have called the timeout after the power play to keep the big guns out there. But is that what you really want? We'll get into that coming up here in the second half of the hour. May hear from Knobloch as well. Right now, let's dive into a sports update for our great partners over at Park Mazda, where if you need to drive, they've got a vehicle for you.
Oilers dropping the puck on a 5-game homestand last night. They would go on to lose in overtime 6-5 to the Bruins down at Rogers Place. Warren Fogle with a pair, while Corey Perry, Matthias Janmark, and Zach Hyman also chipped in. Stuart Skinner stopping 30 of 36 in his 100th career start. Game 2 of the 5-game homestand goes tomorrow against the Wild. Elsewhere last night, Austin Matthews collecting his 50th and 51st goals of the season. Leafs double up the Coyotes 6-3 down in Arizona. Habs follow the Sabres 3-2. Flyers over Chicago 3-1 in Columbus 7-4 over the Ducks. Oil Kings picking up an afternoon win at home 5-4 over the Hitmen yesterday. The club will visit Lethbridge tomorrow night. Camrose over Bonnyville 2-1 in overtime and AJ action. No games tonight, 3 games scheduled for tomorrow. Pair of games last night in the PWHL. Boston topping Ottawa 3-1. New York over Montreal 4-3 in a shootout. Action resumes tomorrow with Toronto hosting New York. Selena Sturmay's Team Alberta suffering its first loss at the Scotties last night, dropping an 8-5 decision to Newfoundland and Labrador. Alberta will wrap its round-robin schedule this afternoon against 4-3 British Columbia. Coverage starts at 1:30. And it's the return of the NBA regular season tonight. The Raptors host the Nets in one of 12 games post-All-Star break. Sports update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda, where dealer principal Mitch Lewicki has given his staff the entire day off to celebrate the return of the NBA skip.
If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki with like a giant eagle's wings and singing lead vocals for Leonard Skinner with like an angel band. And I'm in the crowd hammered drunk.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Step closer to the hollow, the devil may care. If I showed you around my heart, would you mind if I shared to show you what's wrong with me? I will not change it. I will wait patiently while you get painted out. Let me into your untainted tribe, to be the one who gets to live a lie. Oh, let me lie with you. I'll be a perfect stranger. I wanna be that stupid boy that you don't talk about. You better believe there's a sharp knife beside my bed. You better believe there's a sharp knife inside my head. And if you would leave, I would take you by the hand. You and I would leave, but it wouldn't be that bad.
Whale and the Wolf, EST House Band. Excellent. Look them up. Spotify, streaming, and go listen to all their music. It's terrific. Absolutely terrific. 780-218-9999. Nielsen Show coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We had a great day of coverage here on Edmonton Sports Talk. If you've not yet told your friends how easy it is to consume EST at edmontonsportstalk.com or on the free TuneIn app or on YouTube, obviously, or podcast after the fact, please tell them that we exist. We think they'll like it. We got a great day today. The hangout today is going to be an all-timer.
Oh, gem, yeah.
We've got Ron Lowe coming in to join Gager, Quinn Phillips, and Matty Iwanek.
Just in terms of guest power, that's up for an SD already.
Whoa, you already put in an SD conversation. Wow.
We've had fun hangouts. We've had hilarious hangouts. We've had some informative hangouts, I guess you could say. But this one, just in terms of you put that on the marquee outside downstairs by the spa. You know, you come in for, hey, massage special or whatever. But, you know, Ron Lowe, Walking Gage, Quinn Phillips. That's a who's who. That's a real good mix. A real good mix.
It's a real nice one. That's coming up today. Myself and Hustle in the Lock Shop, and myself, Cass and Gager, on Two Guys and a Goalie today here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tell your friends. I'm sure they'll love you for it. All right, let's get into I Got Beef. No show meat today.
Fergie.
Well, Fergie, actually, we do have show meat.
Well.
But it's not from, you want to get some show meat? It's not from Acme because the Acme meat is so damn delicious that everybody just eats it as soon as it shows up here. But what do you got beef with? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. We're going to hear Chris Knobloch's postgame coming up as well. Want to dive into some of the overtime decision-making. We'll certainly go there as well. Nas26. Saravalli on a Vancouver podcast mentioned Crosby to Edmonton to play with McDavid and Draisaitl like a week ago.
Hey.
Might just get himself attention. No, listen. I got beef with that. I got beef with Pinkel thinking, like, don't waste my time. Don't waste my time on Sidney Crosby to Edmonton. Please.
Click.
Is this all we got?
Click, Mr. Exworth. Yes.
Who's been eating the backup jerky? Who's been eating the backup jerky? Trev?
Don't look at me. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I think Zach comes like, I'm doing practical
I
here.
wouldn't be surprised.
He's making it worth his while. Eh?
That's pretty good, too.
That's
pretty good, too. Shout out Norman at Combine. Texted us the picture of the ribs that he got from Acme.
And I will attest to this. I cooked the ribs up from Acme as well over the weekend. Perfect, great. You don't know what you have until you get a good rack of meat, quality meat. Go see Corey today, Acme Meat Market, Ritchie Market. He's got the jar of pepperoni right on the. It's like a candy shop. You go in there. Yeah, give me one of those.
That's like Willy Wonka's place in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, you can't not leave without getting a pepperoni stick.
I like the idea. Like on the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, when Charlie Bucket goes in there and the guy's singing and he's like on one of those ladders that has wheels. I like the idea.
That's Acme Meat
That's
Market.
Acme Meats. I like Corey coming in there and being like, ah.
And when you go on the tour.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. That's good.
Wait till you see the river of blood in the back there. You're kind of going down there, eh?
That right there. That's, don't drink out of that. Why not? That's the river of blood. Oh my God, that's gross. Eat fresh, eat local, eat Acme. I got beef. What do you got beef with today? Lots of good beefs, by the way, rolling into the text message.
I do have beef with, and it is kind of crazy time of the year when we're getting trade proposals and people wanting to do things that are nearly impossible financially with this team. But, I mean, the Crosby one kind of... This has been going on for, a few weeks now, maybe a month.
Yeah, why stop there? Go get Austin Matthews. He scored 51 goals.
Exactly. Why not? Maybe get a 3-way deal or something, some sort of package there.
I have problem with people texting in the Konechny stuff, let alone Sidney freaking Crosby.
Well, there are levels to this as well, and I guess the Konechny stuff is one, but the Crosby stuff, I mean,
if the Oilers got Crosby, you can come back to this show and be like, look, Nielsen, you're an idiot.
Sure.
Look at what you said. Feel free. I mean, I'm open to that.
Feather me if you want.
I'm open to that. Yeah. I got beef. I brought this up very briefly yesterday, and I'm here for your secret suggestions to the inbox. I won't share them with anybody, but I got beef with not having enough car washes in the city. When you get to like that car wash window, right? Everybody's washing there. There's just not enough. And I cannot justify waiting in line for like an hour to wash my truck. I just can't do it. I want to wash the truck, but I cannot wait that long. I went by a couple nights ago to like 3 different places. And I was just like, man, there's like 12 cars waiting in line. Even in like the bay ones. Like there was one, I went by one that had like 12 bays, and there were still 12 people waiting outside. And I just feel like, why aren't people not opening up more car washes? Open up more car washes. It would save us a ton of time. Maybe car washes aren't that lucrative. But what do you got? You got to provide some water. That's it. Everybody's paying everything for you.
Where's Jay Sinkler? Bring back the bikini car wash, right?
He's
the guy to be doing that.
Yeah, he would be the guy that would bring
that. But look,
that.
I mean, you've got two. You've got a fresh 7-year-old and Marshall's. Washing a vehicle is fun in the driveway. Get them to do it. Get in a little water. They turn it into a game. Wash Daddy's truck and
for a brief moment, 2 days ago, after I'd been driving around. I wasted like an hour. Maybe I should have just waited in line, I guess. But I got home and I sat there in the driveway and I was like, I wonder what the neighbors would think in the middle of the winter if I've got the hose out and I'm washing the truck.
Give it a shot.
Especially with that water shortage we had for a while or whatever it was.
Do it at night.
I'm dropping enough water still in the backyard rink. Who cares if a little bit of it's on the truck? I think in the summer I'm going to get pressure washer and we'll become home car washing people.
Yeah. Get the kids involved. It's
might
fun
be
for the whole family.
But I just don't understand how people can also like spend an hour of your day waiting to get your vehicle washed. I don't know how you have that time. How do you have an extra hour in your day? It's crazy.
Greg Lockhart says, come to Lacombe. 13,000 people get 8 car washes. So maybe your numbers, your analytics are a little best served out there.
Is Lacombe the car wash capital of Canada?
People per car wash. Car wash per 60.
That's amazing. Guys, I got beef with a local grocery store charging an extra 80 cents if you want dressing with your packaged Caesar salad. Who wants a Caesar without the dressing?
Wow.
I mean, it should just be labeled as regular salad at that point. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999.
I think this is JD. Got beef with the lack of A&Ws on the West End. I concur. I think you and I run into this issue sometimes.
The amount of A&Ws on the West End?
You could plop easily another couple down in this.
Well, there's one up 111th just around the corner. That was the award-winning one.
Yes.
That one's up over there, but we usually end up at the one in Mayfield.
Yes.
Just because of where we're coming from.
But we're talking let's get into the industrial
let's pop
here.
A few more.
You
let's
plop one down over there by that Walmart or whatever.
Yeah.
That one on 111th, though, it's got a little kitchen station. You go in there, wash your hands, prepare things. It's like a camp. I feel like you're up north in camp.
I feel like you're up north in camp. 780-218-9999. Jeff from Hamilton says, I've got beef with Tommy chastising people for saying we when referring to our preferred sports franchises. I'm okay with him doing it with fellow members of the media. You guys are supposed to be unbiased. But when someone such as myself, who spends thousands on ticket packages and merch, which could easily run into the tens thousands, wow, look at this guy's rich, if we went deep into the playoffs, mind your damn business, Tommy.
Well,
mind your damn business.
When he's not seating tables, he's. I understand you're supporting financially, spiritually, mentally, physically, the whole bit. Like you are. The guy's propping the organization up here, right? Like he's one of the pillars keeping this thing alive. So
no, I do think that
maybe he can say we. Maybe he's afforded the right.
Yeah, I don't. Tommy's not on the fan. Tommy doesn't criticize the fans for saying.
Well,
does he?
No,
I
don't
think so.
I think he just likes the chat around here. For
I
us
mean,
to
he comes around a few guys here, but
keep the fandom at
came
bay.
at me for referring to. I said we with the Detroit Lions.
Well, Maddie does it with the Ravens too.
Yeah, I mean that's different. We don't cover the NFL. We're fans of the NFL.
Yeah,
right. That's different. That's different. Jeff W is in and says won't be much car washing with a lack of water come summer and our lack of snow melt. And this is why I'm planning on saving all the water from the backyard rink and putting into a big barrel just for car washing. I think that should be good.
You get EM utility locating, and maybe you got an aquifer below your house. Say maybe you don't even know it. You're sitting on maybe you're sitting on a car wash. You don't even know it.
Maybe I have
you
a
can
well.
Open your own. Exactly.
Yeah. I got beef with drive-thrus that give you your order way too fast before you pay. I only have two hands. Great text. That comes in from Maester Ev of the Southwest.
I'll tell you what I got beef with too is those Hudson's gift certificates that Tommy's handing out.
Why?
And you're going to be like, well, how do you have beef with a gift? How do you have beef when somebody's giving you free money to eat or drink at an establishment? The problem with that is you say, hello, I have the, let's, for the spirit of this example, $50 gift certificate, and the bill's, $46. So the server will bring you back a bill for $3, but then you got a tip. Like I want a tip.
Oh, yeah.
So you're tipping on the $3. And the server just and you're trying to do the
it's
math.
Always weird trying
it's
to figure
very
it out.
awkward, and I'm shaking, and I'm on the calculator times,
yada yada yada.
I'm
You accidentally tip 50%,
and I don't know how to tip, but it'd just be nice if I had the calculated tip off the original total.
Gordo is in and says, also, I got beef with Edmonton media being obsessed with the term ebbs and flows. Way overused now since Perlini said it. Yeah, I don't think I've ever said the words ebbs and flows on this show. So you must be talking about someone else. Millwood's Matt says, as someone who works with Epcor, hello, Matt. We'll talk about our bill here. Eh?
Smart guy checking in.
Let me know. Flip you some Hudson's GCs. Eh? I would love to pay bills with gift certificates. That would be great. How much was the direct energy bill this month? Oh, 4 A&W gift certificates.
It's
That's
like
how much it was.
Your own Bitcoin type of yeah.
As someone who works with Epcor, the snow melt won't really have much effect on the water we have in the summer to distribute for public use.
But putting out all the grass fires in the river valley, that's
oh boy.
Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, here's a good one. Fleets is in. It says, I got beef with the lack of Five Guys in the West End. There's zero. It's a good point. Mind you, was the rumor not that the Popeyes that opened on 170th was going to be split with a Five Guys?
Oh, was that?
I thought that was the original
was that
rumor.
The agreement. Popeyes says no,
the original rumor.
Not today.
Yeah.
Just
let's make that happen. That would be. That's a fast food. That's a fast food 1-2 punch right there.
Since the days of the KFC Taco Bell, have we?
Gordo texts in and says, "Hey, I have beef with someone else texting in with my text handle Gordo." We got two Gordos texting.
Whoa,
right
dueling
now.
Gordos. Well, they both signed. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's identity theft here, right?
Guys, I've got beef. Man, people got tons of beefs today. This is a classic after a lost beef day. Guys, I've got beef with every time a player brings a puck out of the offensive zone, the commenter always says, they're resetting. And this guy, he goes, resetting for what? I think they'd be resetting for another attack. I got another attack there. Orca Driver says, does Dusty say he wishes he could pay his bills by gift card? The CRA has a plan for him.
Yeah, you better.
Classic CRA jokes.
Keep that button down there. Yeah.
Lick Fury is in and says, I've got a beef with guys who have beats with saying ebbs and flows. How about you go and get yourself off the schneid? The schneid's always a good one.
Yeah.
Guys, I got beef with A&W in America. No breakfast, no burger family, and bad service. Canadian A&W is far superior. That's in from California, Sam. This is what we heard. We heard A&W down in the United States is so much different than us. How do you not have A&W breakfast? Where do old guys go to hang out and BS in the morning? My God.
The Waffle Houses or whatever.
There's no A&W breakfast in the United States?
We got briefed on the A&W stateside and how it's just absolute trash.
Yeah, well, like up here,
comparatively speaking,
we
to what
met
we
with
know.
those A&W guys. They're the people who are doing the
Consultant
survey.
yeah.
We talked about how like A&W just feels very Canadian. Like it really does. You know, it just feels like homey. You feel comfortable there.
But I never knew the schism and the split between the two. Like it is a totally different world down there.
And that might be the most frustrating thing about the United States.
I think they put ice in their fountain drinks. Yeah, now it's all we're kind of getting it out now. The press is starting to.
I think this is the longest
Richard.
I got beef segment we've ever done.
Richard or Richard, I got beef with Jack Michaels. What the hell is a half wall? We're just now throwing things and hoping they stick.
Todd in YYC, I got beef with Oilers fans constantly wanting old news back. Bukestad, Eberle, Hall, Larson, Rollis, and Klima. Give it a rest. Find someone new.
Give it a rest, he
Ooh,
says.
Todd
Wow.
in YYC. That's Calgary. Saying, give it a rest. Find someone new.
Like Tanev, maybe. Hey?
What a segment. What a segment. It all started because I got beef that we got no show meat left.
Go visit Corey today. Acme Meats, Ritchie Market. Again, the pepperoni sticks on top of the counter in that little long candy dish. It's just, you can't resist.
I'll take two, sir.
Yeah. As you said, for the drive home, you can't go to a meat shop, buy a bunch of meat, and then not have anything to kind of
it's like when I go into Wayne's to get a bunch of cards for a break, which, by the way, I'm doing a break tonight. It's up on Facebook right now, Crackback Card Breaks, snag a spot. It's like when I go in to do a break, I always get like a couple of card packs.
You got to treat yourself.
You got to get out. You got to crack a couple of packs in the car on the way home or prior to driving home, obviously. So, yes, we got that going for us as
You
well.
pull over midway to crack a pack, eh?
I'm a big-time road crackbagger.
Hazards on.
Why is that vehicle pulled over on the side of the Henday? Really clogging up traffic. Like I want to
Must
do
be
that during
cracking a
rush
pack,
hour
yeah.
one day. Have the truck with the flashers on the side of the road, and people are driving by, and my window's down. They can see I'm just clearly pulled over, opening up cards,
honking the horn. Yes, I gotta.
That would be hilarious. You know, people they'd have beef with that. There's no doubt they would have beef with that. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Portions of The Nielsen Show brought to you by our partners at Alley Cat, the creators of the 6 O'Clocker Lager, which are continuing to roll on. But they don't just have the 6 O'Clocker Lager. Let's be honest. 6 O'Clocker Lager is delicious. Delicious. But they've also got the New Moon Hazy Pale Ale. It's a great one. They love it. The B League one is a good one. Still with the outdoor rinks. I think when we had our party there, some people were getting in on that the B League.
Is that making its way out to the...
Yeah, smooth honey smell and flavor with an easy drinking amber ale. Perfect for after a men's league game. And then, of course, they got their classics, Apricot, Mandalorian, Main Squeeze, Skona Gold, and Razzie Cat. Skona Gold was the first beer I ever had that wasn't like Kokanee or Canadian or Coors Light or Bud Light.
Your first venture into
That was my first one. I remember.
Now you're sipping IPAs.
I know. I'm a huge beer boy now.
That's an EAPA, not an IPA or whatever it is.
We're going to have two of the Sutter brothers on the show tomorrow, by the way, to talk about beer because they're in the beer business too. It's not
See if you can
Daryl,
guess which ones.
Yeah. Try to guess the combination. If you do, we got a $50 gift card. Yeah, I remember I was going to a house party in Sherwood Park, and I stopped out there, and I was like, ooh, what's this? Skona Gold. I guess I'm going to roll into the party and be the fancy boy. And now it's just like, it's crazy. Apricots. Say my two favorite beers going right now, Apricot, 6 O'Clocker Lager. Both Alley Cat specials. And we got a great partnership with Alley Cat. They just rolled out another another series of flats. Another pallet of 6 O'Clocker Lager heading out to all those Sobeys and Safeway liquor locations.
It was a great I Got Beef segment.
Guys, we gotta
rolling in here.
Gotta move on from I Got Beef.
Personal gripes, things we don't even understand, but it's good to get that out.
Guys, I got beef with the cliche saying, no question. There was never a question. Stop using it. That's filler. Like. Collingwood Rob says. Yeah. we all kind of have our little crutches along the way, I think. Guys, I got beef with the way Tommy was dishing out those Hudson gift cards yesterday. As thankful as I was to get my $10 gift card, my lady friend went a couple minutes after me and got a $20 gift card.
Look,
that is the most Tommy Gazzola thing I've ever heard.
Textbook Tommy here.
Textbook Tommy.
We're not surprised.
That's a little weird.
Tommy dishing out $10 GCs
for the
to
boys,
dudes,
for the boys,
$20 GCs to ladies. Yeah. We got to sit down and talk with Tommy Gazzola.
And if you give him a beaded necklace, he'll shell out the 50, right? Isn't that or something along those lines?
My goodness, Tommy Gazzola. We do have to we do have to do the That's hilarious.
What a great text.
All right, man.
I love it.
That's the most Tommy thing of all time.
Seating people, seating tables, giving out tens to the boys, and
too good. All right, let's go circle back around to the Oilers because that's why we're here. We know that's why you're here. Edmonton Oilers losing last night. Let's go. I want to hear what Chris Knobloch had to say. Let's get to the coach, Chris Knobloch. We want to find out what he had to say. Obviously, overtime was very interesting. If the Nuge would have been healthy, Nuge probably would have been out there in that spot as opposed to McLeod and while Nuge would have just been coming off the power play though too, so maybe Hyman would. Either way, if Nuge was healthy, somebody else would have been out there instead of McLeod and Kane. I think in overtime. Let's hear what Chris Knobloch had to say after the game last night.
There was a lot that happened in that game, so maybe just can you start by giving us your overall thoughts on how you played and how that went down?
I think we're slow, flat in the first period. I think our game got better as the game went on. Third period, I thought we played with a lot of desperation, a lot of urgency. The offensive zone, I think it started with probably the last 5-7 minutes in the second period, and I just carried on in the third period where, we had a lot of zone time. We were able to get a lot of shots, recovered those, and then we were able to just get secondary opportunities there.
Do you feel like some of the wounds were a little bit self-inflicted, maybe just some tough decisions, be icings in OT and those things?
Yeah, no, it was unfortunate. We had an opportunity to, get this a 2-on-1 there. Indirect, little comes off fast off the wall just because the angle's tough to make that pass. Just little details like that, unfortunate. And then it leads to us being tired, having to defend, and anytime you have possession of the puck in 3-on-3, just huge advantage. You never know what's going to happen.
Chris, you look at the amount of goals against. How much of that is a combination, like team defense? Stewart obviously would have wanted probably the one back for sure. What do you make of the goals against lately for your team?
Well, I think 5-on-5, our goals against has been probably just right on par up until tonight. Tonight, obviously, a little more, but the rest of them since the break, 5-on-5 has been good. It's the penalty kill has been leaking, and we need to shore that up. Tonight was one, but since the break, our 5-on-5 defensive play, I don't think we've given up very much for goals.
There you go. That's Chris Knobloch. We didn't want to get to all 5 minutes. You can obviously find that over at Oilers Plus. A couple of things coming there. The one conversation that I want to get to, because I just saw somebody in the Nasty Chat basically say, you added another timeout to his collection, right? You want him to use those timeouts in those spots. And in you couldn't have used it after the icing, but after the power play, after the Van Riemsdyk comes out of the box, could have used the timeout there to keep the big boys on the ice. And I totally understand where you're coming from. But I don't want to change my tune where I've been saying for like a long time that you need to have faith in other players on this team. Like if you're going to have success in the playoffs, it can't just be hang around, down by a goal, 4 minutes left. McDavid and Draisaitl will get a 3-minute shift.
Nuclear option.
And maybe win the game, and that's how you're going to always have success. Like I want to see them put other players in roles of importance at times. Now, they did that yesterday with Kane and McLeod, and they got stuck out there too long. made bad decisions, and the puck ended up in the back of the net. But I can't be the guy who's coming on here all the time being like, you got to have faith in some of these other guys. Mix in PP2 once in a while. Like, have the rest of the team feel like they're a part of it, and then come in after a wild loss where they got a point that they almost didn't deserve because of the second period anyway, and say, well, you know what they should have done? They should have called timeout so McDavid and Draisaitl could play 4 straight minutes in overtime. Like, so I'm a little torn on it. I'm a little torn on it, but I understand why a lot of people would say, use the timeout, keep McDavid and Draisaitl out there.
Yes, and your thought process, I think, is correct as well in saying that, are they as easy and tempting as it is to rely on that nuclear option or whatever you want to call it, or revert to some of the easier things that would work for this team, you can't get to where you want to go without putting trust in certain guys and certain guys showing up when it matters, right? I mean, that's not... You can't accomplish what you want to accomplish.
No, you need everybody to contribute to the level you expect them to contribute to. And I know a lot of teams will load up on guys. I get it late. I just feel like the Oilers, they use it more of as a crutch in key moments as opposed to putting. So I don't hate the fact that McLeod and Kane were out there. If you thought they should have used the timeout, I get it. I mean, I'm not even going to argue with you. I just don't want to be the guy who says all the time that you'd like to see other players get expanded opportunities in some key moments and then complain about it when they blow it, which is what they ended up doing last night.
Beef Nip says, points milked, 13 points behind Van with 6 in hand. Pacific title run incoming, !
Pacific title run possible. I don't think I'd be so confident to the point where I'd say it's incoming. Like, the Oilers, since the All-Star break, have been so-ish.
They've gotten to where they need to go to get back in the mix.
Yeah, they're there. However, I mean, you have to keep rolling. The Los Angeles Kings are just 2 points back of the Oilers in the standings, and the Kings are one of those teams that the Oilers don't have a ton of games in hand on.
One game.
They have 1 game in hand on the Los Angeles Kings. The Kings have won 4 in a row. Both the Oilers and Kings are 6-3-1 in their last 10. Third spot in the Pacific isn't necessarily sewn up just yet.
Yeah, and a couple cracks in the Canucks armor right now doesn't necessarily, as you said, justify a division run incoming. I would say right now they're gonna pick up their game again. But again, 2 points back now, the Golden Knights with 3 games in hand. That's what you're looking at right now.
Yeah, you got the Kings kind of knocking on the door behind you. The Kings also have a couple games in hand.
They're better than they were
on the Golden Knights and are just 4 points back. Like, Kings fans will be looking at going 2 games in hand on the Golden Knights, also 4 points back. So it's going to be a fun race. It's going to be a fun race down the stretch. I don't think it's crazy to think that they could track down top spot in the Pacific, but 12 points is a lot to overcome. You basically have to take advantage of all of your games in hand in that situation. Tommy Gazzola giving the guy $10 GC and a girl $20 GC.
I love it. It's
just so on par with Gazzola. I love it. Like, that's like sticking to your brand. Like me not being able to fix things around my house is me sticking to my brand. Tommy dishing out gift certificates of different levels to men or women is Tommy Gazzola sticking to his brand. It's great. Sanjay texts in this morning and says, can someone explain to me why Kane goes for a change when he was 3 strides ahead of the Bruins players? He could have easily beaten out the Bruins for icing and then go get a change. I get he was gassed, but you have to be aware of the situation. Show some hustle. Man, we talked about this a lot this morning. I mean, he obviously was just exhausted. Mike Johnson said, you're exhausted, your body's dead tired, and your brain's not thinking right. I mean, he didn't, as MJ pointed out, he didn't even have to win the race to the puck. He just had to skate down far enough to force Swayman to come out to play it, and then the icing is waved off. So, boneheaded mistake from Evander Kane. They get stuck out there. Game over.
Point milked.
Oilers get a point.
Point milked.
If I was to tell you after 40 minutes last night, hey, if the Oilers get a point tonight,
where's that point?
Are you
Where's
good
that
with
point?
It? No, you gotta have this point. You would have been happy with it. Now, it provides us with a lot of things to discuss here in Edmonton Sports Talk today, And we'll continue to roll along there. If you have any questions for 3 Questions Too Many, you can submit those now. Coming up in the third hour of the show, we're going to need somebody to play Kind of Easy Trivia right now. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 to play Kind of Easy Trivia. Gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, where they have the 6 o'clock lager on tap. Hello. Boom. Love it. 780-218-9999. Text Trev. Let him know you want to play Kind of Easy Trivia today. Somebody will have a chance to do that. We got 3 Questions Too Many for Park Mazda coming up here. We're going to give away a $50 gift certificate to Hudson's. You can join us for our EST watch party on Friday at Hudson's at West Edmonton Mall. Scalding hot takes still to come, as well as the judge, Your Honor, His Majesty. Joaquin, he's royal. He's royalty now. The magistrate. Joaquin Gage will be in a little bit later on. Hangout coming up in about an hour. Ron Lowe, Joaquin Gage, Quinn Phillips, Matt Awanek. That's going to be an absolute banger as well. If you have any questions for 3 Questions Too Many, you can submit those to 780-218-9999. That's also the number if you want to play Kind of Easy Trivia. Text Trev right now. If you're looking for work, Claiborne Services has a job for you. They are hiring now. Go to claiborneservices.com. Eric's got more on that coming up here after a sports update.
A point gain for the Edmonton Oilers last night. They come away after a 6-5 overtime loss to the Bruins. Game 1 of a 5-game homestand from Rogers Place. Warren Fogle with a pair of goals in the overtime loss. Game 2 of that 5-game homestand will be tomorrow against the Wild. Austin Matthews recording his 50th and 51st goals of the season. Leafs double up the Coyotes 6-3 down in Arizona. WHL action yesterday afternoon saw the Oil Kings with a 5-4 win over the Hitmen from Rogers Place. The club hit the road and visit Lethbridge tomorrow. Camrose over Bonnyville 2-1 in overtime. No games tonight around the AJHL. 3 games scheduled for tomorrow. PWHL action saw New York over Montreal 4-3 in a shootout, while Boston topped Ottawa 3-1. Schedule resumes tomorrow with Toronto at home to New York. Selena Sturmay's team Alberta suffering its first loss at the Scotties last night, 8-7 against Newfoundland and Labrador. Alberta will wrap up its round-robin schedule this afternoon against 4-3 British Columbia. Coverage starts at 1:30. NBA regular season schedule resumes tonight post-All-Star break. Raptors host the Nets in one of 12 games around the NBA. Sports update for Claiborne Services. You can take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind, knowing they are an industry leader in safety. You can visit www.claiborneservices.com or make it easy and give Jeff a call at 780-910-6728.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielsen Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in on TuneIn, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tati and Eric and all at the back end. Like Brzezinski and Noodles, Gadget can gauge it. Maybe slip over to Coolbet to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday Mandate. Sharky's always on time, Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat left the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about Amanda Canes? Macramel, Rapaport, Drager, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him give him present. Does he go for? What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielsen Show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh, if that doesn't get you going in the 8 o'clock hour in the Nielsen Show, nothing will. John T. and Victoria's special, What Say You? AM Nasty Crew. And there's nothing you can do about it. Exactly. Coming up here in hour number 3, we'll give you a chance to win a gift certificate to Hudson's. You can join us for our watch party on Friday. Scalding hot takes coming up for Claiborne Services as well. Gage will be by to judge that. He's also sticking around the hangout today, and likely for 2 guys and a goalie. as we will continue to dissect the Edmonton Oilers' loss to the Boston Bruins. I just popped up. I was just on Twitter. Well, you're getting to the update in the song. We're going to get to kind of easy trivia right away. DNB, Daniel Nugent-Bowman, does a great job over at The Athletic. The tweet that he put out says, Oilers loss to the Bruins further underscores need for forward depth ahead of the trade deadline, which I find interesting. Like, I don't necessarily watch that game last night and go, Oilers need more forwards because of this game. Now, with Nuge being out and the depth, I guess that's probably where the angle comes from. But I don't think I watched last night's game and was like, you know what, the Oilers need to trade for before the deadline? More forwards. Like, they lost 6-5. That's probably, I don't know. It's an interesting take today.
Well, they did have a scoring issue, didn't they, Dusty, that we were talking about during the winning streak?
The offense, of course. Yeah. All right, let's play a little kind of easy trivia today for Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. The casualest place ever. Go get yourself a classic Mike burger. Cannot go wrong. Sirloin bites, absolutely delicious as well. Hampton Inn on the corner of 137th Ave and Mark Messier Trail. Now with 6 o'clocker lager on tap as well. YouTube Trev, who's playing today, buddy?
Today we have Gordo.
Gordo. Oh, now which Gordo is it?
I don't know.
Because there's two people
God, I love
who've been texting into the show.
We'll get to the bottom of this.
Under the name Gordo.
The
which
real Gordo.
Makes things very interesting. Let's bring him in this morning. Gordo, are you the real Gordo or are you the imposter Gordo?
This is the OG Gordo.
OG Gordo, okay. Now, when you say OG, we're talking like you've been listening for like 10 years or more than that or what?
Maybe 7.
7. Okay, we'll take it.
You round up.
OG Gordo. Now we know. Now we have that baseline test. Right now, other Gordo's going to chime in and be like, "I've been listening to 7.5." Who can you trust? Which Gordo can you trust?
Does he text in for kind of easy trivia?
Oh, that's a very good point.
You answer the bell, Gordo.
Very
OG
good
Gordo.
point. Yeah, here we are. All right, Gordo, I'll start the ticker out to read the first question. Good luck, man. You need 3 out of 5, or Gordo's everywhere will be very disappointed. Here we go. How many goals did the Oilers allow last night?
6.
Which broadcaster's son scored a goal last night?
DeBrusque.
What position does Charlie McAvoy play?
D.
Name one goalie on the Bruins.
Swayman.
What's the name of Boston's baseball team?
I don't know.
What? He got it.
No! Oh, my God. Damn it, Shake, stop it!
They are going to remember that AM radio is a viable and modern source for news and entertainment.
Totally.
People don't listen to AM like they used to. Seems like it's more about FM and color TV.
That's stupid.
It sure is, Kevin.
I'm stoked. You stoked?
I'm stoked.
Just so stoked.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Can we just...
Wow.
Can you repeat the questions? Just question 1. I just want to go through this again.
How many goals did the Oilers allow last night?
Yeah, that's the game. That's good.
Which broadcaster's son scored a goal last night?
If you missed that.
Said DeBrusque, no problem. What position does Charlie McAvoy play?
Okay.
Defense. Name one goalie on the Bruins. I think you
Two
got
good
it.
ones.
I blacked out. I think. Did he get that one? He got that one.
Yeah, he got that one.
And then I said, what's the name of Boston's baseball team for the perfect 5 out of 5? And he hesitated, and I was like, what's going on here? And they said he doesn't know.
He was all hockey on the brain, hockey on the mind.
I don't care.
Out of left field, this baseball question comes flying in.
I don't care if you are the biggest, I'm a hockey guy in the world. How in the world do you listen to something called Edmonton Sports Talk and not know about the Boston Red Sox?
I think this is on us, Dusty. We're not talking enough pitchers and catchers and positional players reporting. Grapefruit League is upon us, and we need to put it in OG Gordo's brain. Massage it in there.
I'm questioning him listening to 7 years of this show. I am. He said,
he said
it's
7
years.
It's a Blue Jays heavy. That's.
But they're in the division. Have we not mentioned the Boston Red Sox once?
Not enough.
In
apparently.
like the 15 years the Nielsen show has existed?
Not enough. Big Poppy.
I'm very disappointed. Gordo. I hope the other Gordo texts in and says, I know it's the Red Sox.
Well, Chris Sadoway says that is a fake Gordo. If he was listening to sports radio for 7 years, he would know the answer, yes.
Well, now we know.
Imitation.
Now we know the difference between the Gordos. One of them knows who the Boston Red Sox are, probably. The other guy has no clue.
Yeah, and then we should have maybe known when he comes in hot, calling himself the OG. It's like when Tommy came in here and said he knew the jerky thief right off the hop.
Yeah, right away. Walked
it's
right
kind
in.
of a little suspicious. Alarm bells go off.
Gordo. Well, I don't. Trev. Even Trev's like, what?
I'm kind of lost for words right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what to. Like, even if you're not a baseball fan, like you
They've been
should
in, like,
know.
yeah. They've been in pop culture enough that you would know who the Red Sox are. Wow.
Well,
interesting twist on a fun Thursday show. That's very interesting. All right, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9990.
Strummy says, enough with all the MLB talk already. And
yeah, I know. Way too much baseball talk of the
sports show.
Way too much baseball talk of the show today. That's my bad. We'll get back to Vander Kane in overtime in a minute. We'll definitely circle back around. Circle back around there. Yeah, I like people calling him out being a fake Gordo, especially rolling Gordo. You probably got to.
I think if you're dropping OG on yourself, you got to go 5 for 5 easily. That's just kind of it's lockstep.
All right, let's get back on track here. Totally derailed things. Hangout coming up at 9. Lock shop from 11 to 12. And 2 guys and a goalie with myself, Cass, and Gager from 12 to 1 right here live on Edmonton Sports Talk on the TuneIn app at edmontonsportstalk.com. Smilky Steve. It's supposed to be Smiley Steve.
I like Smilky.
You're Smilky Steve now.
It's, you've invented your own.
Put him in there, Smilky Steve. My wife knows Boston's baseball team. Yeah, my kids, like the Muzz just turned 7. She could tell you who the Boston baseball team is.
It's a recognizable sporting brand globally.
Is it though?
I think.
Is it? All right, let's get into 3 questions too many today. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segment?
3 questions too many brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he doesn't mind that he was one of the final cuts for today's episode of the EST Hangout. Park Mazda, your dealer for life.
Even Tommy got cut from today.
He'll take it. He didn't want to. He was kicking and screaming. We said, no, you have to have the day off.
Ron Lowe, Joaquin Gage, Quinn Phillips, Matt Iwanek on the Hangout today.
It don't get any better unless you had Mitch Lewicki from Park Mazda in there as well. Maybe we'll have him in
I mean, if Mitch wanted to come in and just sort of sit around,
he could hang out.
He'd probably
could hang out.
Eric, do you have a Twitter account?
Yes, I do. It's @Lieutenant_Eric. You can follow along on Twitter. As yes, we have our Dunya AGM tonight at the Century Casino Sports Bar Lounge. I'll be going back there for the Thursday night. You know what that means, the smoked brisket cheesesteak. But no, we finally get to Iwanek hands the jersey over to my brother, who's the champion. And he'll have it for the time being, leading into the season. But it's nice to have an old AGM fantasy leagues. Hey, fantasy. I don't know your guys. I know you had this CFL fantasy startup that you guys were doing. Are you
very successful.
Do you also
startup.
have AGMs and that type of thing?
Well,
do you talk or do you just play the league while the league's going?
WhatsApp chat is going. It's buzzing all the time.
It's buzzing all the time.
WhatsApp chat's buzzing all the time.
All the time.
The thing about our league is that we're more a national league. We've got guys across the country.
Yeah.
As part, we've got guys south of the border.
Yeah.
We've taken CFL Fantasy International. Our commish is an American.
Oh, you're global. The global game, hey?
No big deal.
Do you have to adjust the global on your rosters? We observe the ratio. Do you?
We observe the ratio, but not the global ratio.
Oh. If you're going to call yourself an international league, if you are OG Gordo of the CFL Fantasy Leagues, you might want to. I can't wait tonight.
I mean, that'll be a lot of fun for you guys.
It's the one chance of the year I get to see Scott McCord for 5 minutes.
You got to get McCord at 6 o'clock or lager before he leaves right after the meeting starts.
There's not a chance. He'll drink half of it and leave. The guy shows up. You don't see him. I got beef with Scott McCord. Shows up yesterday too.
I know.
Hadn't seen the guy. We're done
you
the hangout.
You can McCord yesterday.
Gotta leave. See you later. Well, we just finished the show, and then this evening with these AGMs, he shows up. He'll show up late, and then he'll be the first one to leave because he's got to work in the morning, like we all do.
Yeah,
like it's the excuses are rather like,
the only dude who ever works in the morning. Yeah.
I mean, just say your house is on fire or something. It'd be understandable, but don't. I got to work in the morning. Yeah.
Is Dave Jamieson going to be mine?
No, actually, I got this from Matt Iwanek last night too. I should have recorded it. Probably only heard him say it maybe twice. Maybe this is the first time. I dropped the ball. He said I forgot to invite him.
Whoa,
Matt Iwanek,
that's your commish
admitting that he dropped the ball. Wow. He was very.
He must have been rattled by that.
Now Dave hasn't been able to make it out to a few of these in the past, but I said that's. Drop the ball.
I will say this.
Matty doesn't drop the ball too often.
It sounds like your league's starting to fall apart a little bit. Well, ours has all this momentum right now.
This is like when I had that beer with Mark Cohan nearing his exit. I knew it was the end of days, but you just feel like, hey, let's enjoy it while it's
Mark
here.
Cohan drop, buddy. That's good. Big T from Regina says, is there an app for CFL Fantasy? How do you keep track of the points? Well, this is why I keep telling Randy Ambrosia we need to have a beer because you can do like week-to-week fantasy online, but we have season-long CFL Fantasy leagues, and it would be a great way to get more people into CFL Fantasy if you can go do CFL season-long fantasy. Right now, we keep track on a bloody spreadsheet.
I'm
opening up the newspaper in 1997
it's a lot
to
of
track
work.
my hockey pool.
It's a lot of work. And sometimes the commish, when you're doing it with the pencil and paper, you have to, as well, as a franchisee, keep track of the numbers because sometimes they can be a little fudged.
I've never even thought about that.
Oh, no, it happens. He's dropped the ball a few times. But, again, this is all homemade and grassroots. But, yes, Randy.
You don't sound like you support the commish.
Oh,
you know who
full reinstatement.
I knew that was coming.
But no, this is all very homemade, what we're doing right now. But you're right. You need to get on Ambrosi.
Yeah.
Genius, whatever it is, the tracking of the stats. Remember we said the CFL stats were going to be blow all the other stats leagues out of the water and all this stuff. Well, we need to get that. You need to get some sort of system so it's easier for people to do their own. The season long beats the hell out of the week to week.
The week to week,
the monetary value
week is kind of fun, but season long fantasy is what the CFL needs to get done. And
that's where it's at.
I know, like there'll be you can go season long, but it's the week to week, so you're changing your lineup every week. You've got to have it so you can make trades for guys. Like that's what gets people into fantasy. I think the guy who made our website could probably build a CFL fantasy app for us. And that would be good. Somebody's got to lead the way in this. Somebody in the country has to lead the way in this. All right, let's get into 3 questions. This one came in earlier today. 780-218-9999. Paris Jewelers inbox. Go see our friends at PJ's if you want to buy something fancy. All right, they got things for every budget. Treat yourself. Treat somebody else. Flexible financing options until 2025. Visit Paris Jewelers. 22 locations across the country. Family and Canadian owned. 780-218-9999. Guys, is Corey Perry the toughest player on the Oilers?
Ooh, tough. I
think he's the
that's
most
a loose
willing.
definition, yeah.
He's the most willing.
Yeah, sure.
But what really is tough?
Well, I'd say Leon Draisaitl's the toughest for gutting out whatever he's dealing with right now, right? Like
obviously,
we say he's gutting out. He's sick, he's hurt, he's everything
hurt.
above, and he's still playing. So that's got to be tough. Tough in hockey. That's always a, I mean, aside from having a heart attack on the bench, can you be tough, right?
Well, how much do you determine like the toughness of someone by their willingness just to go? Because like, some guy might be a great fighter, maybe he just doesn't like to fight.
Well, you could be bordering on idiocy as well, right? You can be tough and go out there and fight and take penalties and be stupid, but is that what you want? Yeah, right now, okay, yeah, he fought last night, and sure. The spirit of the question, yes, the toughest right now would be Corey Perry, correct? Or who else? 780-218-9999.
I think it's supposed to be Evander Kane.
Yeah, maybe.
As far as like on the dad strength meter, Matthias Ekholm's got to be like the strongest.
A different
adult,
toughness.
You know, like
if we're doing a metrics world's strongest man, he's lifting the Atlas balls.
If we were giving out an award for the Will Fraser over the top yelling at someone to behave well, Ekholm is probably that guy. It's interesting that there's like no name that really jumps off the page.
Well, McDavid's been throwing his weight around the last little while.
McDavid, I think, is second on the
sharpening up his
team
defensive
hits.
game, right? Like, is that tough?
I'll say Corey Perry just because he's the one who is willing to go the most, I guess. Trav, you got an answer to this?
I mean, Evander Kane, he went toe-to-toe. He might have lost, but it was a pretty good tilt with Ryan Reeves, as we like to bring him up every
a
now
while
and then.
ago.
It was a while ago, but not a lot of, Nurse dropped him with Lucic.
Nurse is tough,
can be
dude.
tough.
Nurse is
Yeah.
a tough guy.
Right.
You don't necessarily want Nurse fighting because if he screws up his hand, they're done. That's interesting.
There's several options, but as far as the spirit of toughness, as LT was saying,
You don't want to fight Desharnais, I wouldn't think.
Yeah,
Even though
that's a good
it's
one
not
too. Yeah.
necessarily up his alley, but
So it's a tough team. Is that what you're getting? Like, they're a tough,
I wouldn't describe them as a tough team.
Neither would I.
Kyle the Embalmer's in it says, Connor Brown's the toughest to watch.
Yeah. This is the loose definition part of it all, right?
This one says,
Steady Eddie.
Tough is doing the tough things like Perry does. So, yeah, maybe that's what happens. And Bobby LaFrench is in it. Says, Nurse is a tough SOB.
Yep.
How are we forgetting that monster? Yeah.
But as you
just
mentioned,
haven't
though,
seen Nurse have to do any of that stuff in a long time. So it's,
well, the money doesn't suggest the toughness needs to,
I know there was it was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, they asked McDavid who he thought was the toughest on the team. And I forget who he was saying, Cass was on the team, Cassian was on the team then. But when it came down to strength, he said Nurse easily.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Put Darnell Nurse into that conversation as well. 780-218-9999. Hey, guys, I'm just wondering, is there anything that you guys actually love about Boston sports? Do you have a soft spot for any of those Boston teams?
Let's go over them again. The New England Patriots, no. The Boston Red Sox, I don't hate the Red Sox. I don't reside in that division with Blue Jays fans and Yankees and everything, and it's all very...
I got no soft spot for the Red Sox. Or the Patriots.
I'm a neutral when it got the Red Fenway. Yeah, it's cool. I don't know. It's neat. Kevin Youkilis. The Patriots, I hate. Bills fan. The Bruins, my brother's a Bruins fan. I have no... they're out east. I don't... I understand.
I didn't know your brother was a Bruins fan.
Loves them.
Oh, wow.
But not a hockey. He's
yeah.
Casual. And then where are we going? Isn't the bean pot held there? That college hockey?
The bean pot.
I have time for the bean pot. I always love when Guy Flaming will throw out a couple of bean pot tweets. It's that time of year, and
nothing like a Guy Flaming bean pot preview.
College hockey, right? And so maybe that angle is something there. I don't.
Where do you come on the Boston Celtics? The green jerseys of the Celtics.
I like the green. I like green, the green and white, and of course the history there. But I don't go one way or another. I don't hate the Celtics. Don't love the Celtics. I have no rival like you being a staunch Lakers. You have to hate the Celtics now. You hate the Celtics. You've always hated the Celtics.
I mostly hated the Celtics, even just from the Cavs rivalry with the Celtics and the Heat with the Celtics. So, don't like the Red Sox. Don't like the Celtics. Can't stand the Patriots. No love for the Bruins growing up a Habs fan.
What would you define Boston as?
Well, you make a good point because having been to Boston, I would say I do have a soft spot for Fenway.
Yeah.
Going to Fenway.
There's no more gardens. There's no more, that type of thing. That's
going to Fenway was one of the coolest sports experiences I've had in my life. The game itself, it was against the Jays, obviously. It was great. Now, the seating at Fenway, at least when we were there, I don't know what it would have been before kids, so 10 years ago. Yeah, it would have been 10 years ago. It was right before we had kids. So 9 years ago, let's say it was 9 years ago, the seating, I don't know if there's been up, but the seating, small little seats down in the lower areas. Not great for a 6'5" guy. But still, we also did the tour of Fenway, got to go up in the Green Monster and stuff. I got a soft spot for Fenway. But outside of that, Boston sports in general, nothing.
Boston College. Right?
Doug Flutie went there. Doug Flutie went there. I do have Doug Flutie in a Boston College uniform, signed and autographed on my basement
Go
wall.
Eagles.
So
yeah. Maybe that's the college
maybe
game again.
TV Burkle is in and says, who plays at Fenway? I don't know. Let's bring Gordo back in.
Wow.
Gordo, what baseball team plays at Fenway Park?
Good on him for just the I don't know. Yeah. Taps out.
VR Montenegro says the Celtics get some love. Then the Celtics used to have that awesome court, the floor. Boston Celtics old court.
Yeah, but again, same with the Bruins, and that's all gone now. It's kind of you're into the new age, and we're
780-218-9999. Is that there it is. Doing your commish. AGM tonight.
Big AGM tonight.
Big AGM tonight.
Tell you that much.
Lots to discuss about the threat of the rival league. I'm sure that'll come up. Right?
Probably near the end.
Probably comes up. Question number 3. Guys, who is the skip of the EST curling team? We're going in that media? Is that the media? No, we're not in that.
Well, I canvassed the building here, and nobody was too.
I thought we were going to put a team in.
Keen on it. Yeah, but
I thought they sent the application in and everything.
No, they created a thing on Facebook, and then I was asking, it's St. Patrick's Day. Are you?
Yeah, well, I don't curl. I was just going to come support the team.
Yeah, I know, but that's what everybody wants to do. So it'd be me on the ice and nobody curling with me.
Maybe we all just go to the event then.
No. I started up a team with my wife,
Okay.
And Jess and her husband are going to be curling with us. So if you want to come,
so we can come cheer you on.
A quasi EST 100.3 The Bear, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but come on. Look, the Briar Patch, the bar upstairs at the Shamrock or the Granite or wherever, in this case, the Jasper Place Curling Club, that's the place to be. You're a fool if you're out there actually participating in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be behind the glass, eating the chicken fingers, drinking the delicious beer, so on and so forth. Door prizes and everything.
Can play cards.
I cannot wait. St. Patrick's Day weekend. It's going to be a Hummer. But yeah. Maddie will be there.
See, so we're all going to be there.
He's coaching. He bet alternate.
He's going to drink. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. He's not an alternate, he says.
If something happens. So.
Oh, yeah, he can't curl because of the shoulder. Yeah.
I watched you bowl 250 with the left.
You bowled 250 with your left hand? That's amazing.
On fire. Yeah, he beat me.
Who are you, Donnie from the Big Lebowski? That's incredible.
He's just being modest. But the answer is me. No? I
Well,
don't
I mean,
to
I
toot
was
my
gonna
own
say
horn here.
It would have to be you, LT, I think, right?
Trev, do you curl at all?
Like I've gone a few times. My dad's a huge curler, but
Okay, so it's in the blood.
hello, it's in the blood.
I'm just process elimination here. Like
Tommy Gazzola, does he curl?
He was in that
Tommy
Oilers
curls.
fun spiel there
Tommy
a little while
curls.
back, and they did quite well.
Tommy feels more like a lead, so you get that pretty out there early.
Well, he's good on the broom.
Oh, is
you
he good on
you
the
want a
broom?
strong front end. Like that guy's back and shoulders.
Yeah. So you'd be the skip.
Well, but again, based on, just
Who
process of
skips
elimination.
your team with your wife and Jess and her husband?
Between myself and my wife.
Okay.
What kind of?
Yeah, Gager, that's right. Gager has won.
But not a full-time employee.
The
right?
alum.
Just talking.
No, but he does get paid for some stuff, though. So he would.
So alternate.
Gager could be a good alternate.
He'd be a third.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable.
I want to only get called in for timeout strategy. That's what I want to go in.
You just want a team jacket.
Who the
don't you?
hell's this guy? I want the team jacket. I want to roll in. I want to sit there. I want to hear what you guys are saying, and then I want to go. I'm good with that.
Give us our.
I think we should do that.
Paninos after the fifth end.
Yeah. I want to come in and then just suggest the most ridiculous shot attempts of all time. You guys are like, we should just draw to the 8-foot here, and I'm gonna say, what about this? Why don't we bounce it off here and here and here and here?
So one problem with these fun spiels is you kind of go with the strat. Well, this is what they do. No, it's a fun spiel. Go for the triple raise takeout. Who cares?
Yeah, it's a fun
That's
spiel.
the best part about it.
Yeah.
No, I'd be a third to Gager skip then. Let's put it that way. Gager can skip.
Nah, I feel like you could skip. I want to watch you skip. I want to get down and watch
It's
you
fun.
skip. I want to see
Especially-
you call the game, my man.
Traditional strategy out the window. Like you want to get nuts. Let's get nuts, right? We didn't make it to the A semis last year on nothing, right?
A semis?
I think it was A semis or A finals. We punched above our weight.
You almost delivered. You almost got it done.
This close.
Wow, holy smokes. Congratulations, man. So now you're going back with something to prove.
Yeah, roughly same team. I know Yaremchuk kind of filled in a couple times last year too. Man, I cannot wait. It's got me going now.
I want to see LT yell hard so
Gotta
bad.
get on the pebble. Yeah.
Hard.
For line.
Oh, for line. Yeah, that sounds good. For line.
Yeah.
I'll be up in the window having some beers knocking on the window.
Once I get
Eric,
that draw
for
weight
line.
down, you watch out.
Say for line. That would be and then can I yell out from up top? Never. That's one of my favorite ones. I love
licking the windows.
I love a good never call. That's really good too. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Ross RCN in the nasty says Tommy only curls in mixed events.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Why would Tommy curl with men only?
Why would he waste a weekend?
That's a wasted. That's a wasted opportunity to find the one he loves.
Time not banked.
Yeah, that's good. 780-218-9999. That's gonna do it for 3 questions too many. Brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda. We do have scalding hot takes coming up a little bit later on. The Edmonton Oilers falling to the Boston Bruins last night. We've broken down the loss in so many ways, but we haven't really talked about like the overall bigger picture. Like, that's not the end of the world, right? Like last night's loss is not. I know it's not a great way to start the homestand, but you got a point out of it.
It's not a bad way to start a homestand
You didn't
either.
play well. Yeah, it's
in the spirit of doing these half truths and two things can be right at once. Like, yeah, you get a point. I think if you go out there and it finishes 4-1 or 5-1 to the Bruins, then we can come here and confidently say that it's a bad start to the homestand and complain. But you get a point. You come back from a 3-goal deficit. Not a bad way. Not an ideal way, but not bad.
Could have. Well, I was gonna say could have been worse, but You had a horrible second. Yeah, it could have been worse. You could have come
Could
away
have
with
been
no
worse.
point.
No points in a 5-1, whatever. I don't know.
Could have just mailed it in the third period.
Yes.
I mean, after the second period, you could have just mailed it in the third period. So not the end of the world. Got a point out of it, whatever, move on. You get back-to-backs coming up, Minnesota and Calgary, and then get the Kings and St. Louis next week, all over this 5-game homestand. They got one of a possible 2 points so far. You can't continue to roll that here the rest of the way. You're going to have to try to put together the 6 or 7 points in the homestand. So,
Your Honor.
Hey, Joaquin Gage is here. I'm not standing out till he actually comes through the doors of the studio.
Actions speak louder than words.
Hey, Gage is going to pop by here. We got Scalding Hot Takes coming up. Big night last night at the game, actually. We'll talk about that a little bit with Gager. Be by on Two Guys in Goalie today. And on the hangout today, Ron Lowe, Joaquin Gage, Quinn Phillips, and Matthew Iwanek on the hangout today. Aiden O'Neill says, I'm not sure how it showed on TV, but Kane did not have his best game. That is for sure. I got some notes here right off the top of the show. Okay, so no Nuge. Fogle gets the bump. Does well enough. I saw somebody in the nasty chat a few moments ago say, Fogle having to be on the top line just shows that you need more depth. But, I mean, he stepped up in a short notice spot and scored 2 goals for you.
Does it mean anything that we're not mentioning Ryan Nugent-Hopkins at all this morning?
Well, we haven't come around to that yet, but so you're saying
I'm just kind of with a guy like that and his name and the importance that he brings in terms of penalty kill, power play, the whole bit, 5-tool player. I just find it odd that he hasn't been brought up yet. I don't know if Fogle got the elevation and 2 goals.
Well, I think that's the reason why he did get brought up because he would have been out there in overtime.
Okay,
and McLeod and Kane wouldn't have to be out there together. Yeah. So. Did they miss Nuge last night? If that's the conversation we're having, I think they missed Ryan Nuge. Well, it's interesting because the guy who stepped up and replaced him scored 2 goals.
And that's the...
that gets knocked down the depth. Like the fourth line, non-factor. Draisaitl line, non-factor last night. You got something from the Perry line, which was Perry scored, Janmark scored. So you got something from that line. But it just overall wasn't a complete team effort. It wasn't a complete team effort, and it wasn't even a full 60 minutes effort.
60 minutes, yeah.
So
I've heard that before.
Yeah. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Jackson says, hey, Nielsen, you're too hard on the Oil. It was a good game. Well, my bottle is my ball's completely empty.
We are a little confused this morning, Dusty, as you have been championing yourself as Mr. Half Full here.
Yeah, well, this is what I like. Some people think I'm too hard on the team. Some people think I'm too much of a homer on the team. Mission accomplished for down the middle media guy. I'm going to politely disagree with you. Jax, thank you for watching on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't already. You're too hard on the Oil. It was a good game. I would say from a viewership perspective, it was a great hockey game to watch. That was a fun hockey game to watch. But I don't know how an Oilers fan, if you are in fact an Oilers fan texting in this morning or in the nasty chat, I don't know how you could describe that as a good game for the Edmonton Oilers last night. They gave up 3 goals in the second period again. They were down 4-1 again. Did they come back? Sure, they came back. But you don't want to be in the spot where you have to have this miraculous comeback. In fact, they came back twice with Hyman tying it after Pasternak can put him up.
We're past the point of saying, well, now they know they can do it.
Yeah.
Right? There's always that, well, they know they can, we know that now, but it's not a sustainable thing either moving forward. You can't keep putting yourself behind the 8 ball and then proving to everybody that you can come back.
If you think last night's game was a good game from the Oilers, you're probably going to really like the rest of the season because you're probably going to see a lot of games like that along the way. It'll be very interesting here. Chris Knoblauch's going to have to coach them up. That's it. I mean, things were going so well during the streak. Their penalty... How much of the streak just came down to their penalty kill being awesome? Now that we look back at it, what was it, 40 of 41 over a stretch there? I mean, if you're not going to allow other teams' power plays to score, you're probably going to win most of your games, which is exactly what happened. The penalty kill is absolutely... It's trash. It's trash right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. Boston probably should have scored on the other power play that they had, too. They had some great looks. So I think that's one area that... I'm very fascinated today by anybody saying that would have been that was a good game from the Oilers. There were good moments in that game from the Oilers. And I don't think I'm being too hard on them by saying that was not a good game from the Edmonton Oilers. Kevin is in and says they lost in overtime to the Bruins. Bruins beat a lot of teams. It's good that the Oilers can play better. Yeah, but the Bruins also were missing defensemen going into the game.
Yeah.
Lost another defenseman in the game.
Yeah. So opportunity wasted or point gained?
The Bruins had won 2 of their previous 7.
Yeah.
You should be able to dominate the Bruins down the middle, which they did not do last night. Draisaitl was a non-factor in the hockey game. So, no, that was not a good game. It was a good hockey game to watch from an entertainment perspective, but that was not a good game from the Edmonton Oilers. They stormed back with 1 good period and got a point out of it. But it was not a good game from the Oilers last night.
T-Mac, the rugby guy, I stood up when they showed Your Honor on the big screen last night. I had to explain my actions to coworkers, and they are now listening today. I love it.
Because
randomly standing up at the game when they announce Gage.
The last thing you want to do is stand up in an Oilers game. Because everybody would be like, sit down. Hey, I'm dishing on all the good takes. I'm dishing on all the good takes as we work our way through the show. By the way, watching last night on Sportsnet, how about the guy that was standing up? Did you see this guy on the broadcast? He was standing up wearing an Oilers jersey, but he was holding a Bruins jersey.
I saw him.
And he pulled it up and was like, ooh. And I was like, who's this spicy boy?
I like when you psych out the camera guy. Because you know this, the broadcast, they're looking. It's not like they're just randomly
find
going
an Oilers
around.
fan.
They find somebody
standing up in the crowd.
And somebody who's really, but then to kind of, what a play. And you're right, the face. I'm glad that you pointed that out.
Yeah. He knew what he was doing.
Camera guy didn't see it coming either, but yeah.
It's
I used to actually do that at Rough Rider games back growing up, but
what would
if
you
the
do?
camera got
What
on
would you
me,
do?
if the camera got on me, I'd lift my shirt up. And then they'd have to be, I remember the camera guy one time.
Kind of way quickly, don't do that.
Stop doing that.
Every time you get on camera, you're just like,
Hey, look at me. Stop it.
But what was he doing? What's the play? Like, why are you carrying around a jersey of the other team at the game?
I don't recall the goal, but when the Oilers did score one of the goals last night, the camera panned to the crowd as it does, and there was an old Bruins guy, he's an older gentleman, but he's sitting down. Oilers fans around him standing up clapping. He's sitting down smiling and clapping for the Oilers goal while donned in Bruins gear, jersey cap, the whole bit, but just clapping politely for the Oilers goal. Yeah. It's one of those nights, right? Oh, my dad was a big Bruins fan, but now I'm an Oilers fan, and I think Jerry and his son were there. Jerry's the Boston fan, the dad, his son's the Oilers fan. It's a family affair. It's one of those nights.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
You can cheer for everybody.
I just don't know what that guy was doing. Yeah,
he's a spicy, frisky
guy. McDiesel's in it says that guy was showing his catch. He was hunting Bruins.
Look
what I got.
A skin, yeah.
It's like a hide.
A hide, yeah.
Jack says, I didn't say the Oilers played a good game. I said it was a good game. Yeah, but Jax, don't go back on this because you said I'm too hard on the Oilers.
Insinuating that it was from that point of view.
To me, you were linking it into the Oilers when you said you're too hard on the Oilers. It was a good game. We all know it was a good game to watch. But, yeah.
1 in the morning out east.
Don't back out of this here. This text is in from Aleem this morning. My 8-year-old nephew lives in Boston, and they just happened to be visiting this week, so I took him to his first game last night. He's a big Bruins fan. Used to play hockey with Bergeron's son. In my mind, I thought it was the ideal situation that the Oilers lose in overtime so that he could see a win for his team, and I feel happy, but the Oilers still get points, so I'm glad it worked out. The Oilers definitely didn't play well in the second, but overall, it was a crazy game and lots of fun. Yeah, great game to watch. Doesn't mean the Oilers played well last night. And because they didn't play well, it ended up being a great game to watch because they had to crank it up a notch in the third, which they did, with unlikely heroes in the third, a couple of them along the way with Corey Perry and Matthias Janmark. And then, of course, Hyman doing what Hyman does and coming up big as well. Spency 5 cents, he says, I'm still thinking about the second intermission interview with Stoff last night, the Sportsnet producer that uncomfortably left camera on Stoff for way too long. I watched that. Was it in the second? In the second intermission? Trying to think. I thought they needed to give that panel more time last night. Like in the first intermission, Gene cut to them and was like, hey guys, what do you think? And John Shannon was like, blah, blah, blah. And Gene's like, more like, coming up later. I was just like, oh man.
More on Bukestad coming up.
Come on, we gotta get more stuff in there. He's a friend of EST for goodness sakes. Pender's Pancake says, it's okay to lose to East teams, but the next 4 at home are vital. Minnesota, Calgary, the Kings. That's a big one. And then the St. Louis Blues, and you're looking for the revenge game with the St. Louis Blues.
As Atif pointed out, they were singing the blues down in St. Louis.
Atif has all the best.
He's working on another banger. He recapped the 3-game trip. Now he's going to do something on the 5-game homestand. So.
All right, you can hit us up 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We'll get to that. Are we ready for scalding hot takes?
I am.
We got a chair. Let's bring in the magistrate, Your Honor, the judge, Joaquin Gage. Let's bring Gager in here today. Let's gotta get this guy a chair. There it is.
Man in the chair.
Joaquin Gage. There he is. Oh, we didn't set up his mic. There we go. Matty Iwanik's on it. Matty Iwanik's on the mic. He's got it taken care of. I got to plug it in on this side here too, buddy. Didn't plug that back in. Gage is going to join us. Sue's at the game. I got a picture with a teeth. Lucky guy. We'll get into that as we work our way through this bad boy. Scalding hot takes coming up, and then we'll get to the wrap. Gager's going to be in on the hangout today as well. It's going to be a good one. Ron Lowe, Quinn Phillips coming in to join Matty Iwanik and Gager on the hangout as well. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, or hit us up in the nasty chat today as well. And Lieutenant Eric will be looking to defend the Mitts. Scalding Hot Takes brought to you by Claiborne Services. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind, knowing they're an industry leader in safety. Visit ClaiborneServices.com or make it easy. Just fire Jeff a text or give him a call at 780-910-6728. Joaquin Gage. How you doing this morning?
It was the in-season tournament.
Well, we won.
No, I know, but I couldn't find the pot.
He couldn't find the pot holder, so
we're
it's
just kind of.
It's really up. It's up in the air right now.
Yeah, no, you can asterisk my win. I'm all for it.
So right now, are we saying that's a vacated mitt, and there is no defending champion?
No, he's the in-season champion.
Okay,
because we never know.
Okay,
but that doesn't get taken from me today. Then I'm
no. You're still.
So we do need something for you to continue to claim your in-season champion.
I swear I thought I had that pot holder still, but I'll take another one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nice to keep it current with the theme, right?
Also, huge shout out to Claiborne for bringing back Scalding Hot Takes. We wouldn't be doing it without them. If you're looking for work, they can hook you up, can make a ton of money fast. They're looking at all different levels of positions. Like I said, ClaiborneServices.com. Gager, how was last night? Looked like it was a great time last night. Saw you and Sean Brown on the intermission panel. How was that?
It was fun. A lot of fun. It's funny, those things, because really I didn't know what we were going to be doing.
Okay, yeah.
So they said, we're doing this thing, blah, blah, blah. So it was the start of it with, we were essentially taking pictures in Ford Hall forever.
Just standing over there taking pictures?
But it's fine, because no one's there to see me. There's some people there to see Sean, but everyone's there to see George.
Yeah,
right?
Of course,
so the coolest thing, one of the people came up, and it was a family, and the girl goes into her bag, and I'm like, uh-oh, and she pulls out this big picture, and it's her, or it's a picture of George and this little kid, and now, and the kid was like my size now.
Yeah.
So he signed this, and she goes, we met you at the mall, and she took this big, huge picture and had him sign it. So like 20 years later,
really?
that was pretty cool. So, I mean, George, he's larger than life, and it was neat to see people come up to him and tell them all the stories of how he changed their life, basically.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You and Brownie are standing
there. Jeez.
Take a quick picture, please.
Yeah.
You've got your Sharpie being like, anything to sign over here? Anything to sign?
But I met the designer of those jerseys. Unreal jerseys.
Those jerseys looked awesome.
I had a few offers to buy it off me.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, I better wear this the rest of the night, because if I put this down, it's probably gone. So
somebody can steal that.
Yeah. So, and then my daughter's got it in her room now.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good looking jersey.
It's great.
Sure.
It's great.
Hey, we'll get into it on two guys in the goalie today on the hangout too. But what were your thoughts on Skinner last night?
Those are tired goals, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Eh?
it's great to go to the games and see the brilliance of other players. Like that Pasternak is a wonderful hockey player.
He's a freak, right?
Oh my God, man, he's awesome. I love his swagger. That marathon shift at the end of the second.
Yeah.
You can see his leadership. Like he's getting everyone going in between and stuff. It was amazing. And then he scores that goal. He's phenomenal. But even the goal that he scored. Great shot, great move, but it's a goal that was Stuart Skinner was stopping months ago, right? So, yeah, a couple of those, the Marchand short side goal, that's another one that just tired.
That one I thought was really bad.
And because sometimes again I talk about the sound it makes when a guy does shoot the puck, and it was a silencer, like it was a quick. You didn't hear it, and it was like, oh my gosh, that happened, and it looked like it caught Stuart Skinner by surprise, Really? And that's to me, that's fatigue. That's just not, okay, I got to get ready here. And we just didn't see that type of player. He can get it back, but he's going to need rest, man.
He needs to find time sometime. I saw somebody text in and say you just play Pickard back-to-back this weekend. But
he might.
You think so?
Well, if he wins.
So if he plays well on Friday and wins.
If he
hasn't played a lot, throw him back in there.
Yeah, throw him in there.
Skinner waits and plays again next
for
week.
sure.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, Scalding Hot Takes. Lieutenant Eric is the defending champion, brought to you by Claiborne Services. Eric, you will go first. I will go second. Trev, you have the hammer. You got the hammer today. Don't blow it, Trev.
I don't know. It's crazy what you guys can do. LT, I come in the morning. I'm like, you prep? Like, you good? He's like, no.
Life is takes.
I'm just grabbing it this morning. I'm like, how do you do that?
Just live it.
I don't know. We'll see how it
Life is takes. That's good. All right.
I apologize to Trev. You texted me and you said
at
the game, and I'm like, I thought you were referencing I was at the game. Then I hear you were at the game, so I feel bad because I could have brought you into the.
No. That's not why I was texting. I was like, that's sweet.
I thought you were more like at the game.
I had no idea that they were doing that. All of a sudden, I seen Walking Gage. I'm like, I know that guy. I can text him. And so I text him right away. People are like, you're texting Walking Gage? I'm like, yeah, that's no biggie. So
I know that guy.
I was like, everyone,
I can text him.
Let's see if he looks at his phone right now.
I owe you one, buddy. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
That's too funny. I love it. All right, Eric, you good to go?
Yes.
Trav, you ready to go? Judge, you did you forget your big book today?
Well, it was a long night. Let's just
okay, all right.
say it.
I'm glad you made it in.
I fought the law, and the law won.
Wait, sorry, it was Dusty first?
Eric's going to go first. It goes to me, and then to you. Scalding Hot Takes. Here we go. Let's do it. Here we go.
Time now for Scalding Hot Takes.
I can't wait until the Montreal Expos Netflix documentary gets canceled due to a strike.
Careful, that takes hot.
I wish my wife loved me as much as Jack loves Louie.
Hot take alert.
If Connor Brown scores a goal this season, I'm shaving the mustache. Looks like I'm keeping the mustache.
That's a hot take.
Austin Matthews is being wasted in Toronto.
The hottest of takes.
Nikita Nikitin thought CeCe struggled last night.
Wow, scalding hot take.
Connor Bedard will win a cup before Connor McDavid.
Careful, that takes hot.
The Oilers' defense hasn't looked the same since they switched to decaf.
That's a hot take.
Austin Matthews has scored 51 times this season, or as Tom Gazzola calls it, a good month.
The hottest of takes.
Every donair tastes the same.
Wow, scalding hot take.
If Connor McDavid assists his way to the Art Ross, would he be the primary winner or a secondary winner?
Careful, that takes hot.
If Connor Brown worked at a cemetery, there would be bodies laying everywhere because he can't bury a thing.
That's a hot take.
Dustin Nielson finally has a hot take. That was not bad.
The hottest of takes.
The Edmonton Elks tailgate will see more meat this season than Joaquin Gage sees at EST headquarters during an Oilers postgame show.
Wow, scalding hot take.
The Oilers penalty kill has been broken for so long, you'd think it was a fireplace in my house.
Careful, that takes hot.
Joaquin Gage puts the jerk in jerky.
Another jerky take.
Oh, boy.
Hot take alert.
All right, jerky thief over here taking some heat today, the jerky thief. All right, let's go to the judge, Joaquin Gage.
The fantastic work. I love the jerky takes, although this might need another quart, but I didn't bring the jerky. The jerky was placed in front.
Yeah, the jerky was placed in front of him. Yeah,
but this is kind of your. I believe it's your first win, Lieutenant Eric. You have won the match.
Yes! Legitimately.
Yes. Gotta be LT.
All rise.
All rise. He's leaving. Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate that. My goodness. How about that?
I can't believe it.
Well, Lieutenant Eric, what was the one that you had that was that was good. Let's get to the instant reaction here. Claiborne Services scalding hot takes.
This is a win.
Let's go into it here. Let's see. Here we go. Donaire take wins. That was interesting. I almost came across the table at that one.
Well, and a true hot take. We sometimes
true,
get into the burning territory here and everything. That was just a take.
I would completely disagree with you.
Sure, but
because Donaire, not every Donaire takes, but I get it. I understand the take.
know where you're coming from,
I understand the take, but there are bad Donaires and then there are good Donaires.
I guess just every Donaire I've had. Like I don't see the difference.
What's your number at now though?
Like 4.
Yeah, you got. I mean, I've had hundreds. Yeah. There are. You keep going. You keep eating, young Padawan.
Okay.
And you will notice at some point there are differences. That should be. Let's go. Let's get into these here. This one says, "You take that back, YouTube, Trev."
That's right. It's a hot take. Yeah. Great reaction.
Dusty wins. YTT hasn't eaten enough Donaires. Lieutenant Eric wins. Lieutenant Eric back to back. Lieutenant Eric wins. Lieutenant Eric crushed it. Dusty with the fireplace take. I had to take a shot at myself.
And that's really good.
Yeah. YTT lost. Lieutenant Eric with the win. LTE is on fire today. Dusty and Lieutenant Eric both spitting fire. YouTube Trev, a close second though. Well job, Judge. Guys, I hear a female voice. Who is that? Quinn Phillips is here. She's going to be on the Hangout today. It's going to be great. Everybody's excited there. Hangout's very excited. Ron Lowe, Joaquin Gage, Quinn Phillips, Matty Iwanek. Congratulations. What was the one that
feels like a win now?
Give me the one that there was one in there that was just
the Expos.
No, that was a good one. Keep going.
Austin Matthews, Toronto. I said that earlier. Look, it's a take.
I mean, they all can't be 5 stars.
Oilers' defense hasn't looked the same since they switched to decaf. Coffee take. Yeah, gotta.
That's good.
I think
Gage didn't you mid takes? Like, weren't you mid takes? Like, hey, Gage.
Yeah, Gage coffee. Yeah.
Okay. No, keep going.
Elks tailgate with the meat and Joaquin Gage. I mean, that was a direct shot at him.
That was a good one.
And then McDavid assisting his way to the Art Ross would be a primary winner or a secondary winner.
Okay,
An assist joke.
No, the Gage, the tailgate Gager one was real nice.
That's where it's at. Yeah,
that was real.
How do you
nice.
just come up with those on the fly? It's impressive, LT.
Well, he writes them down, but like.
Yeah, I'm not.
But like in the morning, like he comes in.
No. Yeah. Look, some days, some weeks, takes come at you. You get them this afternoon. You keep them sitting on them for a week, but you do like to keep it kind of somewhat current and up to the hilt here.
McDiesel's in says the Connor Brown Cemetery take. Now I have a question with you guys as fellow hot takers. Did I need to add the tail end on that? Because the take was if Connor Brown worked at a cemetery, there would be bodies laying everywhere. Stop. I added because he can't bury anything.
You explained the joke. Yeah,
I explained the joke. I was like, do you think people would have got it if I just left it at if Connor Brown worked at a cemetery, there would be bodies laying everywhere? I was torn on that one last time.
You could have even doubled. You could have had maybe a crematory take in there as well. Like kind of play off that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, maybe.
Burning something. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I was intrigued. on that one. 780-218-9999.
I think Trev's Bedard take got him in a little trouble as well with the frothing fans out there. Not so much the judge.
It's a hot take.
I know it. I love
the point.
That is the point, and I'm glad you're getting that's.
Some of them can be burns and chirps.
Brings the controversy,
but you got to have a hot take in there.
Exactly.
Like a legit hot take. And
that is a hot take.
It might be a hot take. It could be. It could happen.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Double 3A says, Dusty, you could have left that part out. Still a great take. McDiesel says, I think it would have worked both ways. You could have stopped it saying laying on the ground. Yeah. Trailer Park Ryan says, I can say I wouldn't have gotten it. So I guess some people needed it to be explained a little bit better. D. White says, better without the explanation, Dusty, in my opinion. Yeah, I was torn on it.
Honest Hansel, the Jack and Louie take peed my pants. Honest Hansel.
No, Jack does love Louie. I mean, but I love Suits, right? Like you sort of, in a weird way, fall in love with your color analyst.
He liked a tweet I tagged you yesterday. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, yeah, I saw you take me there. Suits is on a full-blown American CFL
Three downs, yeah. No, you don't talk 4 down football at dinner tables around the country.
That's my guy. I miss that guy. All right, let's get into the wrap for William. Once again, Scalding Hot Takes brought to you by Claiborne Services. They are hiring now, and you don't have to worry about your safety. They are a leader in the industry when it comes to safety. They're looking for journeyman bricklayers, apprentices of all levels. If you want to change your career, you're looking for a job, you want to make a bunch of money really quick, there's a lot of reasons to check it out. www.claiborneservices.com, or just Jeff, by the way, Jeff over at Claiborne, he's an AM nasty like you. He made this relationship happen. 780-910-6728 if you're looking for work. Give him a call. Fire him a text, 780-910-6728. And, they are hiring now. Get that done. What did we learn on the show today?
Well, we were talking about Austin Matthews, and, of course, we learned last night that he got the 50th and 51st of the season. But not until I came into EST this morning and glanced on the tsn.ca website and saw 151 in 181.
Yeah.
You can shove your 50 and 51 down in Arizona in front of 5,000 and change, but 151 in 181, that's goals in games played. Even you gave him a segment.
I did. Today, that's something we learned. Today was the first time in the career of Austin Matthews that I sat here and defended him against haters.
And this is 1260 time, EST time, all combined.
The ultimate heel twist. Heel turn. whatever the heels do. But 51 goals in 54 games is insane. He has more goals than McDavid and Draisaitl combined. Like, that's the type of year he is having. And I know when I just said that to you, you're like, I says pardon? That's why it was the I says pardon segment. It's nuts. Rap brought to you by William Huff, by the way. They've been doing it since 1972. If you want your place to look, you can turn a very average-looking old office into something that looks spectacular with William Huff. WilliamHuff.com. Text of the day coming up. Oh, we also learned on the show today that Tommy Gazzola gives $10 gift certificates to dudes, $20 gift certificates to ladies at Hudson's.
Did we really learn that, though? We were informed it happened, but I think we all kind of knew.
Totally were like, oh, yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
Tommy's game. That's
totally
how it
sense.
is, yeah.
By the way, speaking of Hudson's, $50 gift card up for grab, Hudson's right now. Just text in Hudson's to 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Just text the word Hudson's to the inbox right now, and you could win a $50 gift card. Eric will grab a name. He'll be in touch, and you can join us for the EST watch party where Tommy's got those gift certificates, and he's just loving it. Friday night, West Edmonton Mall, Bourbon Street, Hudson's. We will be there. EST crew coming out to watch the Oilers and the Minnesota Wild. We would love to see you there. Jay Milne says he's bringing his wife.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, he said they're making a date night out of it.
Okay. Now, this coming after the Super Bowl extravaganza, the Citric, so maybe the leash is getting...
Here's the thing. I don't want to say anything.
Jason.
EST glue guy.
Haven't you had enough?
EST glue guy kind of went full... I imagine him as that's his Frank the Tank moment, right? Where it's just like, oh, I'll pop by. I'll be home later. He's got 3 young daughters. I got 2 kids. He's got 3 young kids. Glue guy, 100% went Frank the Tank at the Super Bowl party, and now he tells us, I'm bringing my wife on Friday night.
A chaperone.
We're having a date night.
Yeah.
When, let's be honest,
date night.
We all know our wives. She's coming to make sure he doesn't get off the rails. It's that simple.
Is he calling it date night?
He did refer to it as date night in a text to me.
Well,
so
we'll be third wheeling here, a few of us, hey?
He's sitting around.
Hey, what you eating?
Wow, Jay. Why is your shirt still on tonight?
Usually by this time you're well, that'll be fun, an added twist to the evening.
It'll be a
she gets a $50 GC, he'll get a 10.
Yeah, exactly.
I told Buddy to grow a pair if you know, like
yeah. All right, let's get to your sound of the day. We don't have a lot of time left here because we got great hangout locked and loaded, so let's just do this. Oilers lose 6-5 to the Bruins. Oh, what's going on here? Why is that not playing? What's going on? What?
Matty was hooking the mic.
Oh, hang on.
But
no, it should work.
No, it's Matt again.
Awana came in and
dropped the ball again. Dropped the ball again.
No, it's not. It doesn't. It should.
Yeah. What say you?
He's hurting more than he's helping.
You want me to play a Tiefs song off my phone into the...
Oh, my computer is muted. That's on me.
That's what it was.
Well, we'll keep this within the room.
Oilers lose to the Bruins 6-5 in overtime. All right, let's get to your text of the day for A&W. Spicy Piri Piri Buddies are available now. Tell your friends about this. They are spicy and they're your buddies. $3.99 each. Each burger features the new spicy Piri Piri sauce, layers of crisp whole leaf lettuce, tomato, onion, all served with your choice of chicken patty, beef patty, or hash brown patty. Tell your buddies the new spicy Piri Piri Buddy rolling out right now, just $3.99. Zip through a drive-through and pick one up. Text of the day from VR Montenegro. Vermin on the old text line there. Enough with the Matthews love already. You act like he's a second coming of Ron Francis. Well done, sir. Well done. That's good stuff. You can text us anytime, Paris Jewelers inbox. What are you watching tonight, buddy?
Well, what I'm watching begins this morning. Europa League action, leg 2 of the knockout stages here. We got Roma Feyenoord, Marseille, and Shakhtar Donetsk. You'll be interested in this one, Dusty. Sparta Praha and Galatasaray. I do believe Praha is where Cassian's taken his talents, albeit to the ice hockey club and not the soccer club. Toulouse, Benfica as well. You got a little Scotties action this afternoon. Alberta wrapping up the round robin. I do believe they'll be on the ice against British Columbia. 6-1 up against 4-3. That's 1:30 this afternoon. So little Scotties, little Europa League, and that leads up. Hey, Lakers and Warriors tonight. Packed night in the NBA. I'll tell you this.
I'm actually going to watch
a couple of good Clippers, Thunder. You got the Knicks, 76ers, Raptors, obviously too. They'll host the Nets. Some good action in the NBA tonight, and I didn't even take a look at the NHL schedule. I don't know if you.
Yeah, big night.
What's
full
cracking
slate,
in there? Yeah,
full slate. Busy on the lock shop today from 11 to 12. Huss and I will be giving you a full
11
preview
games.
of the NHL slate.
11 games.
It's a busy one, which is great news for the lock shop.
LA at home to Nashville, Vegas hosting Toronto, and all that good stuff. Vancouver and Seattle, as you mentioned during the Cool Bet hotline of the day.
Yeah, we were in Vancouver money line -129 for the Cool Bet hotline of the day. We'll have put together a parlay from 11 to 12 today on the lock shop. We've got Ron Lowe, Walking Gage, Quinn Phillips, Matthew Wannick waiting to get rolling on the hangout. I've got a birthday party with 18 7-year-olds today.
Say it again. Just say it again.
18. I don't know how my daughter knows 18 people to invite to a birthday party, but we had 2 hours this afternoon where I'm going to be with 18 kids.
I like how Gazola's going to be one of them walking in. Like,
so
here for the party.
Yeah. The Muzz invited me. What the hell? She's just inviting everybody. It's just ridiculous.
Get the day off. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to want to go to bed early tonight. I'll just say that.
Well, yeah.
It's going to be 18 kids.
And after a 10:30 Eastern puck drop, this is two nights in a row, right?
How many pizzas do you order for 18 7-year-olds? What do you think? I said 5 because there's going to be some parents around. Oh, we're ordering 6, a bonus pizza just in case. So, but I would think 2 slices max. There's 7. That should be more than enough, right?
Sure.
We'll see how it plays out. Anyway, that's something I'm stressing about today. But a fun show nonetheless. For YouTube, Trev, Lieutenant Eric, I am Dustin Nielsen. Hangout's coming up. It's going to be a good one. Lock shop to follow 2 guys in the goalie at noon today. Right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. You can listen on TuneIn or at edmontonsportstalk.com or watch on YouTube as well as we hit various platforms. Congratulations to this kind of dub.
I'm a real winner now.
Have a great day. Take it easy.